All right, what's going on, y'all? Welcome in, welcome in. Day 3 of the Launch Your Fund Challenge. We got the little bit of a new studio set up here. Looking all right. Good to see y'all. Welcome in. Say hello in the chat for me. For my people that have been here all 3 days, welcome back. This is the final day. Today, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be doing a lot. We're going to go through capital raising today, how I approach raising capital, how me and my teams, we've raised roughly $45 million of equity capital in the last few years. I'm 29 years old. So before I'm 30 years old, I've raised roughly $45 million of capital, maybe closer to 50, but I wanted to say the smaller number. So 45 million. We're going to talk about methods that's worked for us, how we've found high net worth family offices, institutions to look at giving us capital. Primarily, though, we've raised from high net worths and family offices. We'll talk about that, how you can approach it, how to get over the hump of how scary it is to find capital people and to talk to them and pitch them. And it's a scary thing to be involved with. So we're going to have that. Furthermore, we got 2 guests coming on today. We got Ben Julius and Peter Privian. These are 2 phenomenal fund managers, very, very good at single asset funds. So Ben has done tens of millions, I dare say over $100 million of deals up in Canada, in Toronto, on mostly through single asset funds and syndications. He's going to come on talk today about that. And then furthermore, we have Peter Privian, currently runs a hedge fund and is very good at the mechanics of launching a hedge fund incubator for my traders, my other people on there. So they're both going to be coming on live today to talk about their experience using single asset funds. Does that sound like a decent plan for today? So welcome in, y'all. Good to have you guys here. There you are. Hello. Give me a hello in the chat. Say what's up. I need to see anybody here. Hello? You guys alive? Can you hear me? Can you see me? We're live here. Jeffrey gets what's up. Gonzalez, Paul, hello. Ernie, good to see you. All right, we're here. I can't be just talking to a wall. All right, here we go. What's going on? Okay, sound like a decent plan for this morning. Furthermore, let's review yesterday and then we'll dive in. So let's do this. Let me get my cord here. Let's talk briefly about, and then I want to hear what was some of your favorite takeaways from yesterday as I go. I'll give you I'll jog your memory a little bit though, if you missed or whatever, you missed out on some cool stuff. So number 1, you can share my screen. Yeah, this is the Single Asset Fund Challenge here. Briefly, if you don't know who I am, I'm Bridger. This is my family. I've done some fun things. I run 2 investment funds currently. I run Fund Launch. We have 100,000 members, and I ran Blackbridge Holdings. We sold those funds earlier. We've done pretty good. Okay. Go follow us online. We put out a lot of free content as well. These are some of our events that we've done in the past. We talked day 1 about current online influencers. All are going and launching funds. Grant Cardone, Cody Sanchez, Pace, Ty, all are running and launching investment funds right now. The Hormozis launching a private equity fund with acquisition.com. We have Russell. I was with him just a few months ago. He's buying businesses at scale. This is a picture of me and Alex, by the way. I was trying to flex, look big and jacked around Alex. Not even close, but hey, there we go. That was my best effort right there. Going there. We talked about going from this self-funded to single asset fund to full out fund route. We talked about the difference between syndicates and single asset funds, why these sometimes have lots of problems with that, syndicates, SPVs versus a single asset fund. And furthermore, why it's just more clear to do this. We talked about this structure. Well, right here, a lot of times syndications can result in lawsuits and or partners nudging each other out because they have to be partners. They are partners with you on the SPV or syndication. A single asset fund separates you into a GPLP structure. We'll talk about this in a second as you grow. This is the next step. We talked about this day 1. If you're doing seller finance, trading courses, buying businesses, it's a big jump to get to a full fund. The next step is a single asset fund where you do 1 asset at a time, much more cheaper, much more cost effective to do this. Is this kind of jogging some memory? You guys following along? Yeah. A little bit of memory here. We talked about how a lot of syndications and why I wouldn't do this. This is where you set up like an LLC. You have partners that come in, they put money in together. Money comes back out and you make distributions. A lot of syndications SPVs do this. And by the way, someone asked me the other day, like, is this bad? No, it's not bad. People can do this. When everyone makes money, it's fine. It's only when people start to lose money that things go wrong. And this is why I wouldn't do this. In the event that the problems that arise from this, I'll maybe move my little window there. Sometimes it's hairy with compliance. These are partners, not investors. And because they're partners, they can kind of nudge you around. If someone forgot to pay their taxes last year, they can kind of nudge you out of the deal. Lawsuits are more prevalent because you're partners with these people. And so because you're partners can do more things. When you move to that's one of the reasons I just see a lot of problems with SPVs and syndications. What I would tell most people to do is do a single asset fund where you actually set up a We already showed this slide, but you do a GP-LP structure. You have limited partners that come in, that you have a general partner, and you have your investments, okay? And this is all governed by an LPA and PPM, much more buttoned up, much more compliant and done the right way. When you're doing that SPV syndication, you're kind of skirting some rules. Are you selling securities? If they're partners, it's not a security, but it kind of acts like a security. In this structure, it's very, very clear. You're registering, you're making sure it's done the right way, it's buttoned up. Furthermore, when you set up your management company, this gives you an ability to scale. So you have your management company, and then you can launch multiple GPLP structures off of this to give you a track record. This builds a brand around you as someone who does deals with an existing company that does these deals over and over and again. You can get these deals audited. These funds can be, have a administration done on them, where it builds you a track record to scale with. Okay, pretty darn cool. Whew. Okay, I'll pause for a second. That was more day one. If you missed day one, I'm sorry. Maybe you can go back. I don't know if there's replays or not, but you can go back and try to find it. But that was phenomenal. Day one. Day two, we talked about the fund launch formula. This is the formula that we entrepreneurs use to launch their funds. When you start with the deal, you then go and frame and structure that deal. Then you work on getting validation. You do verbal commitments. You ask for, what was the phrase I kept saying? When you ask for advice, you generally get money. When you ask for money, you generally get advice, okay? Ask for advice. Ask smart people around you. What do you think of my deal? What poke holes in it for me? It's very interesting. And they will poke holes in it. And you use this circle to get validation that your single asset, your deal that you're doing is actually good. Then and only then you go to legal. Don't do the legal formation up front. Get validation first. Then you do legal, then you launch. Post-launch, now you go to your first closing with capital markets, asset management, and firm management over here. And this is what you're going to do the rest of your life. You're going to be raising capital, managing that capital, and then building out a firm. This is the best game ever on earth to play. This is what all the billionaires play. This is the number one category of billionaires, according to the Forbes list, is fund management. There's an old phrase that says, the number one asset class or the category of millionaires, most millionaires were made in real estate. Most billionaires were made in funds, in private equity, and fund management. This is what all the big dogs want to play. And this is why all these influencers, I'll go back a little bit, all these influencers right here are all launching funds. I know they teach other things online. They teach sales training. They teach real estate. They teach online marketing. They teach whatever. But I love to watch what they do, not what they say they do. Watch the moves these people are actually making. They are doing private equity. They're doing fund management. They're playing this game. Why? Because it's the most lucrative game on earth. Can I get an amen in the chat? For my people, give me an amen in the chat. All right. I went too far. All right. Amen. I love it. Okay. Yesterday we had Dr. Ben Hardy on. Ben Hardy was phenomenal. It's great to have him on. Talking about your future self now is anybody loved that talk. He did a great job. We also had Alexis Morgan on yesterday talking about 21 years old, raised $15 million for her debt and private credit funds. Pretty darn cool. All right. So right now in the chat, let's do for $100 in the chat. Type in, what was your biggest takeaway over the last 2 days? I'm going to pick somebody at random, but type in, what was your biggest takeaway from the last 2 days? I gave you a little review there, and then we're going to kick off today. We're going to go fast. Today, we're going to talk about capital raising. We're going to bring on 2 guests talking about their funds. We're going to talk about how do you approach investors? How do you find them? How do you get them on your list? How do you warm them up? How do you get over the awkward stage? How do you do like this? This world is kind of crazy. How do I do it? Type in the chat. What was a takeaway? It could be big or small. What was a takeaway for you? Type it in the chat for me. I'll give you 10 more seconds, maybe 15 more seconds. Could be quick. What was a takeaway, though, the last day or two from stuff we covered? And I'm going to pick someone at random for $100 here. And thanks for the engagement. I know I said day one. If you come to one of these events and you just listen, you remember about 0% long-term. If you take notes, you will remember, this is what psychologists tell us, you remember about 3 to 5% long-term if you take notes, which I encourage you to do. But if you use your body, your voice, if you participate, you remember about 15 to 17% of the content long-term. Your time is very valuable, so I'm going to invite you to be involved here today. Be with us. Participate in the chat. I do stuff like this. I give away money literally for you so that you get the most out of this. Sound good? So pull that back for me. We'll do a little mix here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Robert Baldino. Robert Baldino. That's the one right there. Robert Baldino. You got $100 to Amazon. Send us a message at bridger@funlaunch.com. Robert, congrats. I love it. Thanks for the great insights. Love it, y'all. Okay. Last thing we talked about yesterday was we launched our new platform called Single Asset Funds. It's the first time we ever built a full platform for ourselves designed around the fund launch form, which is pretty cool. We had a few questions on this that I wanted to answer today. So a couple questions that came in last night. Number one, we launched this for 50 founding members. This is our first time launching this. We have all the coaching staff, everyone's involved to help you guys go and do your funds. Last night we had 65 people going through Affirm and Klarna. And what we heard was some of them were delayed. There was like a timestamp, and we were capping this at 50. We're getting pretty close to filling this up at 50. So what we decided to do, we met this morning as a team because people were emailing like, hey, I want to be in the first 50. So what we said is we're going to open this up till Monday night at midnight for anybody that wants to come and join this between now and Monday night at midnight. It doesn't matter if it's 55 people or 155 people. Whoever joins between now and Monday night at midnight will be part of the founding member group that we talked about last night. Okay. First question. Second question, can I bring a partner? The answer is yes. So this is our private platform we built. This is not some white labeled software. We actually built our whole platform. So what we can do, you'll join as one account, but you can have up to 2 partners on that account. When you go in there, you guys saw the fund builder yesterday with AI, all the AI fund builders we put in there. When like your partner message is in there, it also puts it on your account. You guys can work and build your fund out together on one account, which is pretty cool. Okay. So you can bring a partner in. Timing. Okay. This is another question. What if I don't have a deal ready? What do I do then? This is, we're doing this for the founding group. We are closing this Monday at midnight. So it is up to you. If, timing is all about you, but what I would tell you in my experience, it's hard to, if you're like, I don't have any deals. Okay. If you keep doing what you're doing, are you going to get any more deals? Maybe, maybe not. If you came and hung out with 50 to 100 other people that are doing deals, talking about them, you're on the office hours, you're messaging them in the WhatsApp group, like is the likelihood go up or down of you finding a deal and vetting it? Probably goes up. Furthermore, our founding members, we're giving you guys lifetime access to this platform. So if you don't have a deal, that's fine. You might find a deal in August or September. Bring it to the coaching staff. Furthermore, most of your deals are probably going to suck. Even if you had a deal right now, our job on our team is to come and vet these deals hard. Good fund managers are looking at 100 deals before they do one. They're probably looking at 100. They're going in due diligence on 20. They're going to final due diligence on like 3 or 4 to do one deal. So that even if you had a deal, we might even rip it apart and tell you to go find 20 more deals. So if you don't have a deal, we have processes, procedures, great coaching staff to help you find and figure out deals. But that's what I would say. You're the average of the people you hang out with. Hang out in the barbershop if you want a haircut. Okay. So, and then for a last question here that I got yesterday was current Black Card members. So our Black Card group is our top group. It's about $25,000 to $45,000. We have roughly 1,200 members in Black Card right now, which is crazy. Launching funds. We've launched 300 plus funds in the last 2 years out of Black Card. So what about them? Black Card members, what we're doing for you guys, a couple things. Number one, you are grandfathered into this. We take care of our people. So this is a new thing. You are grandfathered in to the platform. Okay. You can join go through the fund builder, see all the AI tools. Now, the one question is on legal, the actual legal launch of your fund. If you're a Black Card member, you can convert your Black Card full fund legal into 4 legal setups for single asset funds. Okay. So if you want to convert, that's totally fine. We're going to be sending out an email and a message to all of you that all the Black Card members can come and onboard to the platform and be a part of it. You're grandfathered in to this as well as Black Card members, which is kind of cool. Okay. For our Black Card members, message me on Slack, and we have all of our internal channels. You can message me and we'll talk more about that. Sound good? Okay. Answer any other questions on this? We can throw it up. I'll go briefly. If you missed yesterday, I'm going to go this is going to be about 25 seconds. You guys ready? I'm going to go really fast. And then we got to get to the content today. We got to talk about capital raising, okay? But I wanted to answer some of these questions from yesterday. This is what the platform looks like. Here's some screen grabs. We have a full fund blueprint. It builds out your fund with you. And we actually added in AI to help build this fund with you. So we have an full AI thing. We have there's some course content in there, but this is more of an actionable based thing. It's not a course. This is more about getting results in here. We have an AI assistant in here. And furthermore, in the next few weeks, we're coming out with a full AI agents that will come in and build this with you. This is single asset funds. It's for all different asset classes, private equity, hedge funds, real estate, and it builds. It's a go on your own journey. It builds the platform around what type of asset class you're in, which is that's why we built our own custom platform to accomplish this. Okay, here's the platform incubator, the roadmap over the next little bit. Phase 1 is the Fund Builder SAF private platform, which we just launched yesterday, which is pretty cool. Phase 2, we're onboarding all of Black Card, 20 plus service providers, and all communications are going to happen on the platform as well. Phase 3, we have the Fund Launch AI and AI Fund Builder. It's going to sync and build out your fund with you. Now, AI is not going to do everything, but could it do 60%? Could it do 70% of your marketing materials, all the stuff that goes into your fund? Yes, and that's what we're putting into the platform here in Phase 3. Phase 4, we're building out AI agents that work with you. They design marketing materials, tools, integrates for legal docs, and actually would take your info and then plug it into legal docs. Again, it's not going to draft everything, but it'll do 75% of the work. And then you have people, humans, do the last 25%. And then finally, number 5, AI outbounds potential investors, sources deals on your behalf, all on platform. This timeline, by the way, is not years away. It's a matter of months, even weeks away. We have a full team right now, internal team we've hired that are building this, working on this right now. We're pretty excited. We're going to be rolling this out very, very soon. Everyone on the platform gets grandfathered into this, okay? This is the everything platform for funds we announced yesterday. This is the first time we publicly ever announced this. So when people join single asset funds, we have office hours. So the first one is today. And then starting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, we have coaches that go through and talk through all this, private community access, advanced Excel models we have on the platform as well. You have Fund Launch 360, the full marketing platform here for a CRM website builder, a full back end. I'm going really fast through this. Full fund legal setup. So for your single asset fund, we have all the lawyers and teams that actually will build the GPLP structure for you, included in your price when you join for single asset funds. We have the full software here, and we have a lawyer that signs off on everything before it goes out to the market. We're opening this up until Monday night at midnight for single asset funds. And as a bonus for founding members, you get a numbered card when you join. You actually know which number you are when you join the platform. We're doing an event June 12th at our headquarters. This is a basketball court at our headquarters right here, just out down the hall from where I'm sitting. You'll come out and fly out and be with us. We're actually going to live stream this as well, all on single asset funds here. And then bonuses, we did an onboarding lunch yesterday. Okay, but we'll have onboarding calls as we go for the next few days. You guys join. Numbered founder cards, in-person event. And furthermore, you can do a payment plan through Klarna or Affirm. Here's some of the options for a payment plan. The SAF platform is $7,500. You can do as low as $272 over the next 36 months. This is a 0% interest, 0 to today over 6 months. If you want to do a 0% APR payment plan right there on Affirm. I know a few people there was timing issues, and that's why we're giving you guys till Monday night at midnight. So furthermore, founding members, between everyone that comes between now and Monday, you get not 1, but 2 full single asset fund legal setups. So we'll set up 2 full deals for you, all included in your price for $7,500 with the coaching, with all the events, all the stuff inside, and the platform, the fund builder, to make this thing work, okay? So again, you get the fund platform consulting, professional Excel models, 360, full fund legal setup. And as a bonus, you get all the cool stuff here. So what we're doing, you can talk with my team between now and Monday, okay? So here's the link. If you would like to book a call and talk to our team members, we only have a certain number of calls. I think I got, I don't know, 30 to 40 calls, something like that, available right now. We might add more, but if you want to talk to somebody, fundlaunch.com/SAF. You can book a call. Come back to the webinar today. We're going to talk about all sorts of capital raising stuff. But if you wanted to book a call for this afternoon, tomorrow, Saturday or Monday or something like that, Monday night at midnight, though, is the drop dead deadline. We are closing it, and we're going to use this founding group and go get them incredible results, go crush it, and help them launch their funds. All right. Last thing, you get a $100 credit to the merch store. And if you're still on the fence, we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So like we're putting our money where our mouth is, okay? Yeah, and the one caveat, if you go and launch your full fund in 30 days, you cannot call us and get a refund, okay? If you go launch and it's all successful, you can't call us, because you actually could in the next 30 days, you could go launch this whole thing and have it live. So that's the one, it voids it once you launch and you're successful, okay? You cannot come be asking for refunds after it's done. So today's not a yes or no, today is a maybe, all right? So there it is, fundlaunch.com/SAF. We'll drop it in the chat as well for y'all, and you can see it there. But this is this brand new, this age of Fund Launch we're moving into to be a full fund AI toolkit right now. We've got some incredible developers right now on our team, internal team. These are not outsourced somewhere else. These are all internal team members building this, improvising and moving and shaking some pretty cool things that are happening right now for all y'all to help you get actual results, to help you actually launch and crush it and do a deal and then come back again and again and again and do 3 deals, 5 deals, 10 deals, 20 deals, and really become a full seasoned fund manager. All right. There you go. We'll leave that up for the next 10 seconds here. Funlaunch.com/SAF. And we'll leave it live the rest of this call. You guys can go open up Chrome Safari if you want to go book a team call member right there, funlaunch.com/SAF. Okay. All right. There it is. You ready, guys? You ready to get into today? Let's do it. Let's get in. That was yesterday. That was just reviewing yesterday. All right. Let's talk. Actually, yesterday we also called some deals live. That was pretty fun. We called some deals live. So agenda for today. We're going to talk about how we've raised over $45 million by age 30 for me. I'm going to talk about how I did it and what worked for me. It might work for you, it might not, but I'm going to share what worked for me in raising capital. We got a few guest speakers. We got Peter and Ben coming on, talk about that. And then actually, I'm just going to open up for Q&A. This is day 3. We've done a lot of content. I just want to pull up the iPad and answer questions live from y'all. Sound fair? That's the plan for today. Boom, bada bing. Type a yes in the chat if you guys are ready to get going. Yep. Does that sound good? Okay, let's dive in. Let's talk capital raising. I'm actually going to do this on the chat. Maybe stop sharing my screen for a second. I'm going to put a poll in. Here we go. I'm going to put a poll in the chat. How much capital have you raised before? Okay, so go hit this poll for me. Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. Let me get the other one. Wrong one. You done a deal before? How much capital? Here we go. How much capital have you raised in the past? You specifically, okay, for your deals. There's 0 to 100K, 100K to $1 million, $1 million to $10 million, $10 million to $100 million, $100 million plus, okay? Hit that real quick. I'm going to give you 8 more seconds, right? 8, 7, 6, 5. Don't do it in the chat. Type it in. There's a poll. It should pop up on the bottom of your screen on Zoom, okay? 5, 4, hit that number. 3, 2, 1, boom, end poll, okay? Share results. There's the results right there. So 36% of you have never raised a dollar, and the other remaining have raised something, which is awesome. 20% of you have raised between 0 and 100,000, 21 between 100,000 and a million, 8% of you between $1 million and 10 million, then 12 between 10 million and 100 million. Congrats, this is awesome. I love it. So welcome in, people. This is sweet. So let's talk capital raising. Actually, I want to share a couple of things on capital raising. Number one, there is not one perfect way to raise capital. There just isn't. Now, there are frameworks. There are things that work across, different things, but there's a lot of different ways to raise capital. I'll tell you one story. There's a guy in Black Card. Couldn't raise a dollar, this guy. Like, he tried all these things, couldn't raise a dollar, couldn't raise any money. And then he tells me, he's like, Bridger, we found this Facebook group. And he goes, I think he was a dentist, or he has family members that are dentists. And he goes, this whole Facebook group is dentists. And there's like 9,000 dentists on a private Facebook group. They have to be verified that they're all dentists. And once a quarter or once a month, they do a live call for an investment thesis or pitch. And it's by, I think he was a dentist. So it's by dentists for dentists. So only dentists can come on. So he's a dentist. So he gets in there and he's like, Bridger, I went and pitched this group. Because I raised $5 million in one pitch on Zoom to a private Facebook group. And I was like, wow, that's phenomenal. He goes, and then since then, he goes, that was like a year ago. Since then, he's done multiple calls. He's raised another, I won't say the exact number because I don't know the exact number, but millions of dollars on top of that, just from this one little sliver of a private dental Facebook group. He's like, to be honest, I have never raised money anywhere else. I'm terrible at other things, but man, I found this one little niche and it like crushed it for me. So I want to share, there's a lot of different ways to raise capital. So if you share my screen again, but I want to share a framework around raising capital. And the framework is this. There are 3 distinct stages of raising capital. We're going to dive into each one of these in a second. This is probably a better way to look at it right here, okay? The 3 distinct stages are, just look on the left here, is number 1, can I even get in the room? Okay. Am I around the people that actually have money? Number 2, how do I connect in the room? So Bridger, I got in there, I'm around people with money, but how do I warm them up or get them connect? And these are broad terms, but connect with them to get them to have the chance to actually close somebody on my deal or on my investment. Does that kind of make sense as a funnel? We're talking broad here, but number 1, can I just get in the room? Number 2, can I connect in the room? And number 3, can I close the room? Is this making sense? So, for my people that have raised capital before, with that frame of mind, people message me all the time, Bridger, I'm struggling raising capital. And I always go, well, what do you mean? Well, I just can't close any money. And I go, okay, well, are you getting what part of the problem is it? Are you getting around people with money? Maybe you're around a lot of people with money, but man, like I have a friend, he's his family's super wealthy. He gets invited to all these fancy dinners, events, and all this cool stuff. He's in the right rooms, but no one sees him as someone who actually could manage money for them. They all just see him as, oh, that's that kid over there. Like they don't see him, he doesn't connect in those rooms. Does that make sense? He's in the right rooms, but he doesn't connect in the rooms. Okay. That would be, can I warm the person up to the close? This would be, you're in the boardroom with a pitch deck, like trying to close the person. So I asked people, which one are you struggling with the most? And which one do you feel like you excel at the most? And actually, let's do that in the chat right now. So let's do this. Which one do you, if people that have raised money or maybe you're starting to raise money, which one do you do the best? 1, 2, or 3? Which one are you best at? Okay, number 1, number 2, or number 3. And you can put a question mark if you don't know either, but that's okay. But people that are raising money, a lot of you have raised money in the past. Which one are you best at? Number 1, number 2, or number 3? Okay, some 1s, some 2s, some 3. Okay, some good mix here. Everyone's different, by the way. Some people are good at 1 and 2. Some people are more at 3. Some people are like, hey, yeah, get me to the close. If you get an investor in front of me, like I'm closing. I close everybody. But man, I just don't have enough investors, right? Or vice versa. I'm in a lot of rooms, I have tons of people I know. I just don't know how to convert them or warm them up to the idea of like, I'm going to pitch them a deal. It's like awkward. What's that transition look like? Does that kind of make sense? Okay. So that'd be that. All right. That was what you're best at. Now back to show my screen again. So again, here's the frame, 1, 2, or 3. Which one are you worst at? Of the 3, which one could you use a little help on? Hey, I could use some help getting into more rooms, or I could use some help connecting in those rooms, or I could use some help closing those rooms. So type in 1, 2, or 3, which one you feel like you could need more help on. I'll give you a sec here. Maybe pull up the chat again for me so I can see it. 3, 1, 1. A lot of 1s. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of 1s. 1 and 3, getting in the room. Cool. And and by the way, make sure you comment to everyone, not hosts and panelists, so I can see. Okay, 1s, 2s, 3. Cool. All right. Well, lucky for y'all, we're going to talk about all 3 of these. Does that sound fair? Just dive into it. I'm going to share my experience, what's worked for me, getting into more rooms, connecting those rooms, and closing rooms. We're going to go relatively quick because we're on a timestamp here, and maybe we can save some for the Q&A after. Does that sound good? You guys want to dive in? All right, let's talk about getting in rooms. I try to, put this into 2 categories. There are rooms that you can work your way into, and there's rooms that you buy your way into. Now, again, back to this. We are talking about getting in the room. How do I just get around more people with money? So let me give you a few examples. But again, there's a lot of different ways to do this, but I like to put them into 2 categories, okay? So example, like LinkedIn. That is man, you're working it. Okay, you are working your way on LinkedIn, and actually LinkedIn's awesome. I think it's called Recruiter on LinkedIn. You can pull up people that are your target audience. We did this last week in Dallas at Black Card. One of our coaches, Scott, got on stage and he said, let's pull up LinkedIn. And they pulled up LinkedIn Live and they started to sort and filter down to people that would be an ideal client. Because people don't just say, I'm an investor looking to invest. No one puts that on LinkedIn. What people put on LinkedIn is, I'm a cardiologist. I'm a, entrepreneur of the year, EY award winner for my business, or I'm an Inc. 500, Inc. 5000 winner. That's the kind of stuff they put on LinkedIn. And so you can filter down to these small lists. And he incentivized us, said, I would try to get a list of 200 to 300 names on LinkedIn that you can follow up with. I think LinkedIn limits you to like 20 messages a day. Do 20 messages and you're working list. And crazy enough, Lincoln, my partner, we closed investor we just closed a $30 million raise. We were trying everything. I'll talk about a few of the examples in a second. We were doing every way possible. One of our biggest investors that came in, I believe it was $2.5 million, cold LinkedIn outreach. Isn't that crazy? LinkedIn still is awesome. This is the way but you got to work it. You're working your way into the room. All right, next one on here. I'll give you a few more ideas. Fund Launch 360. We have a full marketing platform to help you work with LinkedIn where you go and message people and do stuff like that. Networking groups. Every city in the country right now has networking groups. A lot of them are free. You can type in, I mean, I'll even pull up one right now. Like, give me a city. Someone give me a city right now. Give me a city in the chat. Boise, Idaho, networking groups for real estate. Boise Regional Realtors, Boise Investor Group, Boise Real Estate Investing. Boom, there's some groups. Oh, let's do this actually. Boise, Idaho, Angel Investor Group. So angel investing groups are groups that get together once a month, once a quarter, and it's kind of like Shark Tank. They actually go and people come and present. They usually have 20 to 30 people come and present, and they can decide if to invest in them. I'm in Utah. We have the Salt Lake City Angels. We have Tribe Angels. We have Park City Angels. My dad was a part of these groups they would go once a quarter. He's like, we'd have 10 people come pitch us. We'd have a nice dinner and people come. So Boise Angel Alliance. You can start pulling some of these. Let's just look at one of these. Top Angel. Let's try this one. Boise Angel Alliance. Let's see this one. Boise Angel Alliance. Oh, this is like business review. Let's see. I want to get to their actual website here. Let's see if it's linked. Let's go back here. Hold on. We're just doing this live. Let's try this. Boise Angel Alliance. Let's try that one. BoiseAngels.org. Okay. Join our community of monthly donors changing the way children, youth, and families experience foster care. Oh, cool. So they're doing foster care programs. Okay, that looks like more like a foster care program. Boise Angel Alliance. Let's see. This is a LinkedIn group. Yeah, so we're in Idaho. We help entrepreneurs create valuable business. Yeah, they come and invest. Okay, so cool. This is Boise Angel Alliance. So I can come message the founder. Hey, can I come present at your next meeting? Hey, I'm looking to come. Or maybe how can I serve? How can I help you guys? What do you need help with? Can I come serve and help these people? Kind of cool. What I'm trying to show you though is there are groups that get together all the time. That's an angel group. Let's do Boise real estate meetup groups. Meetup.com is awesome, man. So Boise Investor Group, man, 1,200 members. How cool is that? Cameron Williams. So you can message Cameron, find Cameron. Hey, Cameron, how can I help? What can I do? What can I serve? Can I bring more people? Do you guys need food? Do you need cookies at the next event? How can I help? And I would recommend working with the organizer. Everyone probably knows Cameron that's in this group, 1,200 members. That's awesome. Go message Cameron, start working with him, be a friend of his, be a value add, be a net benefit to the group. Don't just come and pitch everybody, then they'll kick you out. Come be a net benefit, and you'll be surprised how many people. Look at this. Tuesday, May 13th. What's that? Next week. Bam. We're doing that. They're doing all these different groups. Now, I'm going to say this. Not all groups are created equal. You're going to go to a couple of these and maybe this one sucks. I don't know. Well, guess what? There's about 100 more that you can go try out. Okay. Try this one, come join this group. We got Senate and Isaac bought a 28 unit. His name's Senate. Is his name really Senate? Bro, I live in Utah, Idaho. We got crazy names. My name is Bridger, which is kind of a crazy name. We got crazy names out in this part of the woods. I don't know what the name thing happened, but man, we got crazy names. We got Senate. It's actually a cool name though. That's the thing is they're crazy. And it's like, that's actually kind of a cool name. Senate Pennington. Name a son Senate. Senate Pennington. That's kind of cool. Anyways, they're going to come meet up. You can come join this group. All right, I'm going too long here. Let me come back. All right, is that making sense? I'm getting a little off. I'm getting off track here. But networking groups, great way to work your way in. People in the chat, type in, is there any other ideas, groups that you guys have gone to? Just like, I'm actually very curious. What are groups that you guys, for free, these are you have to work the group. What are some free groups or free things that you guys have joined or been a part of? Maybe pull up that chat for me so I can see it. Just throw some ideas out. It could be online, it could be in person. It could be, other different ones. FX trading in London. Oh, it looks like Boise Angel Alliance shut down in 2020. Veterans Group. New York City, the Sober Group. Our local RIAs. Yep. Real estate groups get together monthly. There's Facebook groups. There's tons of groups. Again, not all groups are created equal. Okay. That's why if this is the work side of the platform, you are working you're working the way. Okay. Let's go now over to the buy. There are groups that you can buy into. Wealthy people like to hang out with other wealthy people. Again, this whole topic's around capital raising. How do I get in more rooms with people that have money? And I'm going to pause for a second. You might be sitting there like, man, that sounds like a lot of work, Bridger. This seems like it's hard. Yeah, it is. Raising money is hard. This is not some like get rich quick. Oh, people will just love you and want to put money in your thing. Like, it's hard to raise money. All right. If you don't want to do it, find a partner who will do it. Okay. You don't have to be the person, but at least have someone on your team who is that person. There are plenty of people out there that are, you could call them natural born salespeople, people that love to go to networking events and talk and network and meet people. Have a partner do that if you're not this person. But this conversation right now is for that person that's going to go do this. Does that make sense? All right. So back to my slides. We got to work your way in. Buy your way in. There are groups that you have to buy your way in. One of the great examples is a Ferrari club. Most cities have a Ferrari. There's a Ferrari club of Dallas, Texas. There's a Ferrari club of Salt Lake City, of Sacramento, of San Diego. And guess what you have to be in the Ferrari club? A Ferrari, okay? It's the Ferrari club. So if you want to go to the Ferrari club, you got to buy a Ferrari. This is buying your way into groups. And guess what? Everyone else in the group also has Ferraris. Not a bad group to be involved with, all right? Some of you heard the story, but this is a real story, okay? Me and Mason, years ago, we put our money together right when we were starting out. We bought this car. This is actually the picture of our car. It's an Audi R8 2014 Spider. This is Iron Man's car. It's beautiful, okay? This is the picture when we sold it right here. We actually made money on this car, which is crazy. So we bought this car together. This car is classified as a supercar, okay? An Audi R8. So what started happening, because we had a supercar, me specifically, I love racing and stuff, whatever, we got invited to other supercar meetups. We'd go to these car events. These is real pictures from my camera roll. This isn't from Google. Like, I would go hang out with guys that were all driving supercars. And we just, because we're in the same group. Now, let me give you a little insight here. This car right here is, we bought for $82,000, which, is fine. But as far as supercars go, that's extremely cheap. But for whatever reason, an Audi R8 is classified as a supercar in the supercar community. This car, McLaren 720S, that's a $230,000 car. This car right here, this is a Lamborghini Aventador SV. This car is $700,000. You can see in the background here, there's an NSX and a Huracan. These are hundreds of thousands of dollar cars. Our car was $82,000, but we were invited to go on drives with all these people. It was like this crazy hack. And furthermore, and it didn't happen right away. I became friends with those people. And then I got invited. Then we started throwing these cars and coin events. We said, hey, let's get all the cars together. We'll talk about coin. We started to throw events that were free speakers. We'd go to someone's house or someone's mansion or someone's office building. Hey, we'll invite all of our car buddies. We'll bring all of our cars and we'll park them out front. And we can talk about your business, whatever. And what it did was created this community of supercar people that also wanted to learn finance. So I'd have myself, I'd speak on funds. We'd have other people speak on interest rates or real estate or whatever. It was one of the best hacks ever for building out and getting in the room with great people. Does that make sense? By the way, steal my playbook. You guys can totally do that. We've now sold that car, which is sad. I miss that car a lot. Man, I currently, people are like, what do you drive right now? I drive an F-250. I live on a freaking farm right now. I got to have farm vehicles. Maybe one day, maybe soon here, I'll get another fun car. But right now, I drive an F-250, a white truck. It's funny. And actually, the last thing I'll share, at these events, it's so funny. We'd invite a bunch of people. The richest people that would show up to these events, guess what cars they drove? The wealthiest individuals. We actually started to know this. They drove two different types of cars. You guys want to guess in the chat which cars the wealthiest people drove? Old, I'm talking billionaire status. We had a few billionaires show up, and we had a few, centimillionaires show up to these events. The two cars all of them drove, without fail. A white Ford F-150 was the number one car. Number two was kind of a used Tesla. Model X, Model S. All of the centimillionaires, billionaires drove white literally white. Wasn't black, wasn't gray, white F-150s and Teslas, at least in my neck of the woods. And we've had multiple centimillionaires come and billionaires come. almost always all the flashy cars were for the young guys that were having fun. But it was funny, the richest people always drove those cars. So I'd always keep an eye out for them. If someone rolled up in a white F-150 that was kind of older, wasn't flashy, grabbing some chicken wings, I'm like, I'm gonna go talk to that guy. Okay. So let me go back to my slides here. So that's one idea. Again, buying your way into certain rooms. Pay to pitch. There's a lot of groups you can actually pay to pitch. There's a group right now they just pitched me. You can pay $12,000 and you can go pitch 30 family offices. Box seats, pay to play networking. I've joined different mastermind groups. I've joined a group that was $24,000. I joined another group that was $30,000. They did, guess what you got for that group? You got 3 events a year. That was it. And like a private Facebook group that we'd all message in. The $24,000 group had like 4 or 5 events a year. I joined another group, $150,000 for 1 year. Me and Mason joined this one last year, 150 grand. They had 4 events. And you're like, man, that's a lot of money. And guess what? I'm not some billionaire. 150 grand is 150 grand. It's a good amount of money. But guess why we went? Number one, we wanted to get good information, good knowledge. But number 2, everyone else there also paid 150 grand to be there. Not a bad room to be in. My dad, I share the story a bunch, but they bought box seats to the Utah Jazz. Okay. And again, I live in Utah, for crying out loud. Okay. If I can raise money in Utah, you guys can raise money in whatever city you're in. Okay. By the way, there is money everywhere. But they bought box seats to the Jazz. And what they found was it was hard to get in the room with wealthy CEOs. If you call them up and, hey, can I come pitch you? Most people are like, no. They have a gatekeeper that says no. But if you call them up and said, hey, the Lakers are in town. We got box seats tonight for, Mrs. Johnson, you and your husband. We'd love to have you guys come hang out with us. We got parking. We got a dinner beforehand. We got box seats. Come to the Jazz game. The success rate skyrocketed for my dad and his partner. And they found that these people started to return their phone calls. Oh yeah, I'd love to go to the game. I can come on Tuesday. When they start to book out games, they got 3-4 hours to spend with these people, talking, sharing, looking at their deals, all that kind of stuff, which I thought was pretty cool. I asked them years later, they did that for 2 seasons. They raised, this is brand new beginning. They had like no money. My dad was so mad when they bought these tickets. He's like, we're not buying. Anyways, he said they attributed about $70 million they raised on one of their first funds from those box seats in Utah, of crying out loud. Okay. So if I can do this in Utah, you guys can do this anywhere. Is that making sense? Okay, I'm going to pause for a second. We got a smart group on here. Any other ideas? These are a few ideas that I share, but share my screen one more time. In the chat, what are other things that you've used to either work your way or buy into a room to get into better rooms with better people? Type it in the chat. I'm just curious. What have you guys seen and what have you happened? Country club membership. Yep. 100%. Country club, Yale club. Yep. You can use your alumni golf club lunches. I'm not a golfer. Sorry. If I was a golfer, that's exactly what I'd do. Okay. I'm more embarrassing on the golf course. Wealthy people already hang out. Luxury gyms. Yeah. Gyms. Dude, you'd be surprised how much money gets raised in gyms, just working your way around. I love it. Chamber of Commerce, grand openings, 4 seasons. Yep. There's tons of different groups. You guys can do what works for you. Those are buying your way, working your way. And my suggestion is do both. Work your way and buy your way. Do a mix. If you buy your way into a room, then work that room hard. Okay. And the goal of getting in these rooms. Okay. Next, we're going to kind of continue on here. So if I go back to my slides, we got in the rooms. So hopefully was that helpful at all? Give you some more ideas of how to get into better rooms. Last thing I'll say, wealthy people already hang out. They already are assembled. They're already put together. All right. Number 2, I guess you've got in the room. Now, how do I connect in the room? Okay. The goal of getting in the room is to warm the person up to the idea that you could actually close and pitch them. Okay. This is this connection warm page. There's a lot of different ways to do this. Let me give you 1 or 2 examples. I said this earlier, but I'll say it again. Well, let me share this first and then I'll get to that. What I like to do. So I'm going to share my slide here. My whole goal, and this is already built out. I was going to have pop in, but we're going fast today. You can do ads, in-person meetups, social media, affiliates, events, whatever. The whole goal is to get them on your list. And I'm going to put list in air quotes. Okay. All of you have a list. Generally speaking, you're going to be raising money from people you know, who know you and probably like and trust you. And they're on your list. Right now, everyone has a list. Your contacts in your phone is the beginnings of your list. That's your, let's call it Rolodex. As you get more advanced, you'll have like an email list. As you get bigger and bigger, Fund Launch right now, I think we have 450,000 people on our email list. Okay. We built that and we nurture that email list. We send out updates. We send out cool articles, interesting things that, but probably a lot of you are on this webinar because you saw an email, a text, or a social media post from us about today's event. You're on our list. We actively try to get more people on our list. Hey, we have a free PDF guide. We have something cool over here. Opt in, put your email in, put your phone number in, join our list so we can nurture a relationship with you. It's all about relationships. I have people in my phone that I think are just, they're on my list, but they're just people I want to nurture and get to know better and become friends with. Essentially is what it's like. It's nothing. People try to make everything so fancy. Really, you're just trying to create friendships with people. So back to your list. I would start, if I was you, I'd start where you're at, make a spreadsheet, use Fund Launch 360, build out all the people you currently have on a list that have, maybe you think would have money. Number two, how are you going to nurture that list and grow that list as you go to events? I don't care if I hand out my card to people. I don't care. I care about getting their cards. I care about getting their info and putting them on my list. Now, it's not like an email list. I'm just going to blow them up out. I'm going to, though, send them invites. When I'm going to the Jazz game, I'm going to invite them. When I'm throwing a Cars and Coin event, I'm going to invite them. I'm going to send them a personal text. Hey, Joe, it's good to meet you 3 weeks ago at the event. Hey, guess what? We're throwing an event over here. I'd love to have you come by, or love to see you. Or, hey, can we do dinner? Or, hey, can I send you a gift? Whatever the thing is to build and connect my list. Now, let me give you a I don't know, pro tip that's helped me a lot. When I'm at events or I'm in the room, people love to ask, hey, what do you do for a living? That's a general question that gets asked quite a bit at events. Number one, I always like to have people talk about themselves. I try to make everyone talk about themselves. I try to network the room. I try to be the glue of the room when I'm in a room. So if I meet Sarah over here and Sarah tells me something cool about her. Oh, Sarah, you were a former professional athlete in the MLS. You played professional soccer. Oh, that's so cool. I'm going to use that and I'm going to say, Dan, my partner, you got to come meet Sarah. Sarah's doing, and I talk Sarah up and give her clout in the room. And then I'll talk up my partner, Dan. Oh my gosh, did you know Dan Young, my partner? He was on the board of Intel for 16 years. He's on the board of AMD right now, multiple Inc. 500 winner. Dan, I wanted you to meet Sarah. Sarah was a former MLS soccer player, and she's amazing, and she's now doing this cool business. I wanted you guys to meet. I try to be the number one, the glue of the room. People, everyone's nervous when they go to events. Everyone's scared to talk to people. I'm going to be the one that glues people together. Number two, though, people generally ask you what you do for a living. I always tell people I'm a fund manager. I'm always looking and doing deals. And then I'll talk my game a little bit. Sometimes if they want to learn more, I'll double click. Yeah, I run a blockchain investment fund. We can talk more about that if they'd like. But I usually close with this. I say, not close, but I lead to this. I say, hey, before we leave, hey, Sarah, it's good to meet you. Maybe I think Sarah's got my whatever. Say, Sarah, sounds like you're a smart individual. You're crushing it. I run a fund right now, or I'm putting together a fund if I was somebody, but I get lots of deals across my desk. I'm just always seeing deals. And a lot of times I can't there's sometimes really good deals, but by the nature of my fund, I just can't do these deals. If I have a good deal come across my desk, could I send it your way? Do you guys like looking at deals at your place? 9 times out of 10, Sarah's going to go, oh, yeah, who doesn't want to look at a good deal? Yeah, I love looking at deals. Deals are awesome. Oh, great. Well, let me do this. Sarah, can I get your email or maybe a phone number? And whenever I see good deals, I'm going to shoot them your way. Great. We should exchange contact. Guess what? I now go put her, and you can share my slide again. I put her on my list. And now the following next couple of days, weeks, I actually do get a lot of deals. And so when I see a good deal, I'm going to forward that email to Sarah and text her. Hey, I just saw a good deal. I just wanted to shoot it your way. I don't have a dog in the fight. It's not my deal. You can look at it if you'd like. Now it starts to train Sarah that Bridger's a deal guy. Bridger's a person who does deals and looks at deals actively. And we start building this relationship as, oh, Bridger's a source of good deals that come around, in his vicinity. Is that kind of making sense? After maybe a week or a month or 2 months or a year, I finally will say, hey, Sarah, I've got a pretty good deal. It's actually my deal. It's called my fund. Do you want to hear about it? And the odds of success of going to this next year jump crazy. And Sarah goes, yeah, I'd love to look at it. Or ask for advice, right? When you ask for advice, you get money. When you ask for money, you get advice. So I'll say, hey, Sarah, I've got this awesome deal. I know you guys are looking at deals a lot. Could I get 7 minutes of your time? Come poke holes in this deal, see what I'm missing. Yeah, sure, I'll hop on. They hop on for 7 minutes. And I run Sarah through my deal and I point at all the stuff that we've looked at, and one of two things will happen. Sarah will go, dang, that's a really good deal. Are you guys actually raising money? Or number two, she'll say, this deal sucks. You missed X, Y, and Z. And I'll go, oh man, you're right. I missed X, Y, and Z. Maybe I'll go back to the drawing board like the fund launch formula and retweak it and come back and say, hey, if I tweak some of these things, can I come try again with you in a couple of weeks and just, can you help me figure this thing out? You'd be surprised. Again, if you ask for advice, you get money. If you ask for money, you get advice. Y'all following along? Is this making sense? So let me go back to my slides here. So again, if I go back to the funnel here, I'm getting in the room, working or buying my window. I'm then connecting the room, getting people on my list to get them to the point where I actually get the chance to, close. I get an actual shot on goal. Okay. Most people that I talk to don't even get shots on goal. They talk to one person that they know and they say no, and they're like, I don't like. This is a funnel. You are getting more people to get shots on goal. Okay. To build this out. I'm going to pause. Was that useful? Was that helpful at all? Any insights, ahas? Somewhat helpful? Yeah. Should I keep going? Now let's look at our time here. I'm going to come back to this, I think, in a minute on the close. We've got 2 guests I want to bring on live that have done this and I actually want to hear from them. Does that sound fair? Yeah. Should we bring them on? Let's do this. If that was somewhat useful, type, I'm going to do this, $100, but first person to type in the phrase I'm going to give you, it's got to be spelled correctly, gets $100. Then we're going to queue up our guests here. So start queuing them up. You guys ready? So we did this last 2 days. It's kind of fun. In the chat, I got a public chat live right here. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Share my screen. So you're going to see, it's going to go infinity screen, but you'll actually see, you're going to see the chat here. Okay, I can see the chat. First person to type in the phrase I'm about to give you, spelled correctly, gets $100 to Amazon. All right, so get your thumbs out, get your little fingers out. All right, the phrase is, everyone ready? I'm going to make it a little bit harder because we've done these a couple of days. I'm going to make it a phrase, okay? The phrase is, I want to raise money. I want to raise money. I want to raise money. Let's see. Oh, that was kind of a hard one, hey? I'm showing, wow, that was fast, you guys. Well done. I show Austin was first. I want to raise money. Spelled correctly. Even an explanation point at the end. Look at that. Boom. Austin. Is that correct? Is that what you guys are seeing as well? Austin, congrats. You got $100 coming your way. Send us a message at bridger@funlaunch.com. Good job, brother. That was awesome. Okay, we're going to bring on some guests here. Furthermore, I think I already answered a bunch of these. Let me scroll down. For single asset funds, if you want to book a call as we're bringing them on, we got our Fund Launch Roadmap. This is where you can actually go and build your platform for funds. Let me jump down here. You have Fund Launch 360. We actually do all the legal setup for you and for your single asset fund. If you would like to, $7,500 until Monday at midnight. For founding members, you get your card. You're coming to an event June 12th. We have the group coaching calls. They start today, and then we're going to continue Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. In-person event, we have payment plans, all that kind of stuff. Second fund. We're going to launch not 1, but 2 funds here. Sorry, I'm skipping down to the link here. Where is it? You can book a call between now and Monday for founding members at funlaunch.com/SAF. So we'll drop that in the chat again for y'all. And you can book a call with my team between now and Monday. If you want to hear more about how we can help you, how we can work and execute a deal with you, go right there, funlaunch.com/SAF. I think we have, 15 more call spots, something like that available. I think the call slots are going away. We only have so many people. I only have a couple people on my team that take calls. So it's first come, first serve. If you want to talk to a team member between now and Monday, book a call right there. And then we're going to queue up our next members. Oh, and you also get some merch store credit, which is pretty fun. Okay. 30-day money back guarantee. Let's jump down here. Book a call with our team. All right. Our guests. We got Peter and Ben coming on live here. So 2 different people, meaning different asset classes. We got Peter, all in the hedge fund trading space. Okay. So for my traders in the chat, all about doing a hedge fund incubator is very good. Peter. And then we also got Ben coming on. Ben is in Canada. done very, very large single asset fund deals. So he's going to come talk about that with us. We're going to bring both of them on. So if you can, we'll keep that link live. Maybe Adam Smith's on my team. He can keep dropping that link. Okay, we're ready for Ben and Parker. So not Parker, Peter. I saw, there we go. Ben and Peter is put wrong in the chat. All right, Ben and Peter, let's bring you guys on live. Let's make sure the audio is working. If you can in the chat, type in the chat, hello. Give them a nice warm welcome, y'all. Bring them to the stage here. Let's, I guess let's spotlight them for everybody, maybe. Welcome in. Peter, good to see you. I see Ben there. Okay, now you're getting pulled on my screen. Perfect. I can see Peter and Ben. Welcome on. Let's do this. Let's start with Ben. Welcome in.
Okay.
Good to have you here. Ben's in Toronto. Ben, give us a 30 to 45 second overview of you, your deals, what you're doing right now, what you've done in the past.
Sure. So I started out in small time real estate, built about 10 years ago, built myself up. And now we own and operate three different two now. We just sold one. So two single asset funds on separate developments, and one's a condo development and the other one is a luxury drawing a blank here. It's a luxury subdivision. Sorry. So yeah, and they total between the two of them now we're about close to $200 million owned, operated under management, the projects that are worth. So yeah, it's been pretty crazy, pretty quick escalate going up, elevator going up, and wouldn't be able to do that without setting up the single asset fund style.
So this is and Ben, I wanted you to come on today. We're gonna take questions from the group. 200 million in projects under single asset funds. Someone asked yesterday, how big can you do single asset funds? I mean, pretty darn big. You've done really well at these, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think like from my standpoint, putting them each because they're both separate. One's like a luxury subdivision, the other one is a multifamily condo development. So having them completely separate helped in terms of raising capital for them, as well as to just manage them, right? So we're able to set up GPLP structures, and to be honest with you, I stumbled into the GPLP structure single asset fund by accident. And if this was around when I was starting out, it would have been a lot less headache. So
a little more helpful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Ben's up in Toronto in Canada. We'll come back to you in a second, Ben, but good to have you on here, bro. Ben's on. We were in Dallas just last week talking about the Canadian election and Stanley Cup playoffs and all sorts of crazy stuff right now.
Go Leafs, go.
It's pretty fun. Peter, welcome on, Peter. So totally different asset class in hedge funds. Peter, give us 45 seconds on you, your background, what you're doing right now, what you're working on.
Yeah, so I'm based out of Boise, Idaho, so all the references to Boise and weird naming and stuff I totally associate with. But yeah, so I've been have a background in operations, compliance, and investing, and so that led nicely into hedge funds. So I do a lot of fund management compliance for the funds that I'm running, and started out launching a hedge fund incubator. Actually, it was like, okay, what's the best way to get started? Let's get our track record in place, because just like Bridger was talking about, you could have 10 different accounts, they're all trading different strategies, but once you go to investors, they want to know, I don't care what you've done, what are you going to do for me in the fund? And so launch that, conversions to full funds, converting separate managed accounts to funds, all that stuff. So working with partners on 4 different funds, and yeah, starting to look at fund to funds, and yeah, so a lot in the compliance, capital formation, all that stuff.
So for my people that aren't aware, we didn't talk about this last few days. For hedge fund people, you can launch a hedge fund incubator. It's essentially it feels like a single asset fund structure. It's much more simple. It's much more cost effective. We actually do it on the single fund asset platform as well, where you can almost baby step into a full hedge fund. If you have, family members and friends calling you up, asking you for money, a hedge fund incubator can be a good stepping stone before you go launch your full hedge fund. Peter, you're running 4 funds right now. What's, AUM or size of those funds, if you don't mind me asking?
So we're launching 2 of them, and 2 of them are up, and we've got about 6 million under management with those 2. Yep. And again, the incubator allows you to launch, get started, grow, and then we actually incubate each fund before we go to full launch. So yep. I totally view it as a stepping stone. If you incubate, then you launch, bring your investors in, and then go, off to the races with really hit capital raising hard, because you have that track record.
So we're excited. We got Peter and Ben on. This is sweet. I'm going to kind of bounce between the two of you. We got two asset classes here. So, if you're listening on here, you might not be a real estate guy. You might not be a stock guy. You might be something different, but I think you can learn a lot from both these gentlemen. So let's go back to Ben. Ben, take me back a little bit. We had some people asking me yesterday, like, Bridger, how do I find and work with partners? Maybe, I'm not the real estate guy. I want to find a real estate partner, or I'm not the capital raising gal. I want to find a real estate or a capital raising gal. I know you've worked with a number of partners. What's your thoughts on partners and maybe take us back to when you were starting out,
Yeah.
how you found partners? Maybe walk me through that.
So, I found all my partners from real estate groups that I've been a part of, right? And I think when you kind of get in circles of like-minded people, you start to gravitate towards the people that you would work with or that you just want to kind of compete with. And for me, my background is a high level background in athletics and competition. I have two brothers. I'm the middle child, so I competed for everything in my life. So when I can align myself with somebody who I want to be better than, then my sky's the limit. So I started to find my partners that way. You mentioned earlier, it was
So
funny
real
because
estate groups, real quick, let's double click on that. For a lot of people, like, hey, I go to groups, I meet people. Maybe
yeah.
what's the next? How do you vet a good partner? How did you test out a partner? I call it like a dating period. Then you get married.
Mhm.
Like, I know a lot of guys. Why should I partner with this person? Maybe what's your framework on that? How do you think about that?
Well, I think I from starting out to now. So I would approach it completely differently now because I've learned so
Mm,
much along the way with partners. And I was always the one when it comes to dating, I wore my heart on my sleeve. So with partners, I kind of did the same thing and learned some good partnerships and some bad partnerships. But you got to create a checklist of people that, because I always say this, it's just like marriage, that it's a lot easier to get into marriage than it is to get out of marriage. So to get out of a partnership is not easy,
yeah.
especially in a general partnership format. Then you're looking at legal bills, you're looking at different things. So you really want to maybe do a small deal first. Like, hey, I have this deal lined up, but I also have an opportunity for a flip. And it's, something similar. Like it's just going to give us an opportunity to work together in a 3 to 6 month time period, and we can see if we jive. And if we do jive, then we can take it on to the bigger project that's not going anywhere. We still have it under contract or whatever, and then we can really start making millions together from that standpoint. But do something small, to see if you can work together and if your morals and your values line up. And that's one thing that I would tell everybody, is that make sure that morally you guys have the same kind of, you're on the same level, and that your values align, because when money's involved, values start to shift, and greed can take over, and you don't want that.
Man, spot. Yeah, well said. My business partner, Dan Young, on the same, I'll build upon what you said. He mentioned something that I love. He's like, with business partners, he goes, it's not always the case, but I like looking, what have they done in the past? If they've sued, do they have dead bodies in the closet? If they
Yes.
had 5 partnerships and every partnership ended in a lawsuit and every one of them ended bad, it's kind of back to dating. You ever met somebody that, you know, they were never the problem. Every single person they've ever dated, though, was the problem. Oh, that guy, he was terrible, and they were bad, and they were bad, and they were bad. And now I found you, and now I'm good. You know what I mean? It's like, well, are they the problem or are you the problem? And now, can people change? Yes. Can people totally reinvent themselves? Yes. But if there's a pattern of a partner that every previous relationship they've had in business, they've ended up in a lawsuit or their partners hate each other or whatever, what's the
Yeah.
odds that you're next? If you're dating somebody and they've cheated on their last 5 partners, what's the odds that you're going to be the 6th person they cheated on, right? It's just, you're playing probabilities here. And I like that quite a bit. And I love what you said. The dating period, start on a small deal. Let's test each other out. I think that's totally prevalent. Peter, I'm going to come over to you.
Yeah.
So I'm bouncing around topics here. We're just juggling. All right. So Peter, in the world of trading, a lot of people, I meet traders all the time, like, hey, I'm trading good, I'm doing well. There's this jump of like, I have family members, I have friends, I have people that actually are asking to give me money.
Mhm.
But it's like this jump now. I'm going to trade other people's money. I don't want to do it wrong. I want to make sure it's compliant. Do I need a license to do that? There's a lot of question marks that come up. And a lot of people just say, you know what? I'm not going to deal with it. I'm just going to trade my own money. But other people lean in and say, no, this is the way to scale. I guess maybe you can take that topic any direction you want. If you're
Yeah.
talking to somebody right now and they asked you that question, what would you say?
Yeah. I mean, I
Is it
think
worth it? Yeah.
yeah, for me, it's and kind of my journey was very similar to that. Was I was trading my own money, trading retirement accounts or whatever, and it was okay. I'm seeing some success in this. I I enjoy trading, and I think we can scale it. And so it gets into that conversation of vehicle, and then it's like, okay, do I want to go be an investment advisor and sell people mutual funds,
Hmm.
or do I think that we can deliver better returns for people? And serve them to help them achieve their financial objectives. And that was really the drive behind getting out from being an individual trader to looking at something more. Um, and then with the hedge fund, it is that leap, and that's the value of the incubator. And I saw a question in the chat of, well, how long does it take to go from incubator to fund? And that's the beauty of the incubator is you go from trading your own money. You can show up in pajamas in the morning, or you can put on a shirt with a collar and show up to your computer and trade. But putting the money into an incubator, whether you have a partner or it's just you to start with, it's a different feeling because it's a business. You're running a business and you're operating as a business. And I encourage everybody, it's write reports to your investors as an incubator because it changes your mindset. And once you've been doing that, then the step to a fund is it's like, okay, I just need to continue operating with the professionalism that I have been. Um, but I think that's the difference because some people
Yeah.
just want to say, well, I'm good at trading. I can monetize this by sending out trade alerts, and it's up to whoever gets them. They can do what they want. But to do this, to run a fund, I think you're able to make such a bigger impact for people and build those relationships and connections.
Maybe share my screen for a second. Yeah, we're talking about this journey. We've shared this slide a few times, but going from self-funded, here we'd call this incubator, hedge fund incubator. For Ben's group, it'd be single asset funds, then to a full out fund. And you're right, there's a different path. Some people trade the software, or say they sell the software. Some people sell signals. Some people go to full money management. I would argue full funny. I mean, just look at who makes money in this space. It's the full money managers, discretionary managers. Some of the wealthiest people on earth are fund managers,
Yeah.
especially hedge fund managers. And so the path I would say is worth it. And I run a hedge fund right now, Ugly Unicorn. I'm wearing the thing right here. We are a blockchain investment fund. We're not generally speaking like hedging and day trading, but we're more long term. We're more swing trades. But it's the same game, and
Mhm.
it's a phenomenal game to be in. You also mentioned writing investor reports.
Mhm.
Trying, stepping in that direction, I think is a very well worth it path to be on. One more question for you, Peter, and then we'll go back
Mhm.
to Ben. Walk me
Yeah.
through the psychology shift. There's something of, trading your own money versus now
Mhm.
trading someone else's money. It's a big shift in psychology. How have you dealt with that? What's been the experience for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just have to look at it completely different because when you're trading your own money, you could be doing things like, okay, I want to make this amount of cash flow every day or this amount of cash flow every week or every month because that'll pay bills. When you switch to the money management side, it's how is the whole portfolio growing? So
Yep.
it's even more important of position sizing, risk management, um, consistency of strategy. It's really easy to quote, cowboy sling trades around when it's your money because, you're hands on if it only affects you if something goes wrong. When it's other people's money and you're a fiduciary, you're fiduciarily responsible for what you do. You have to step up your game. You have to be, tighter with your risk management. You have to be thinking about so many other variables of what. And I was listening actually to Jeffrey Gunlock talk yesterday after the press conference, and he said, "I'm a bond manager, so for every two things that could go wrong, I need to think of 10 things."
Mhm.
And that's the mindset is what are all the things that could go wrong? Okay, now I need to go see what are the things that I don't think could go wrong but still could because we need to insulate our investors from all of those things. And so
Mhm.
you just have to look at things from more angles. And then you also have all the compliance stuff. So people ask, what I trade, but you know, when you're doing futures, options, equities, your SEC, CFTC, all of that. You just have to be really on top of all the compliance, all the documentation, and that's stuff that you don't have to do as a single trader managing your own money.
Yeah. So it is a leap for sure.
Mhm.
But I'd say most likely, at least for me, has been a well worth it leap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has been
And
pretty awesome.
that's why you need partners.
That's yeah. You
It's
need
really
good
hard
people
to
around
do
you,
it
people
alone.
like you, Peter, to button things up. Let's go to Ben. Someone asked in the chat. We'll talk about losses and risk mitigation here. Ben, I know for you, every deal has gone perfect. I'm sure, but for other people that had deals not go so well. But walk me through, and maybe we'll come back to Peter too. Sometimes you do lose money. Sometimes deals do go sideways or take longer than anticipated. A pandemic hits, tariffs hit. There's
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff that can hit. How have you guys dealt with that, Ben? You guys have done some pretty sizable single asset funds. Walk me maybe through a deal or an experience and how you guys have dealt with that.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk to you in real time right now. One of our deals is we're waiting for capital that has been signed, sealed, but just hasn't been delivered yet, right? So
Mm.
we're at the phase of like the stress is mounting every single day, and how we deal with that is, really, as Peter said, we do have a fiduciary responsibility when we have other people's money. So for me, when it comes to stuff like this, it's I'll be okay no matter what. I have a mandate to never lose other people's capital. If we can't get them their full return, that's one thing, but we never want to have them lose their actual capital investment. So, I've had to on other deals before, I've had to like take minimal profit and make sure that every investor got paid out fully. In
Yeah.
some cases, I've lost money, some small amount of money on a couple of flips and deals, and make sure that everybody who's in the deal has been paid out
So you've
fully.
always made sure investors got paid back fully before you took your slides, which I think is very admirable and obviously built you a good brand and reputation. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and as the bigger deals, as you do the bigger deals, it's harder to do that, obviously, right? But you're in a GPLP structure, everybody has to go through the risk mitigation of the deal, so they know, so you're protected by securities law, in order to help with that. However, at the same time, you're human, and you're going to make a mistake here or there. It's how you react after the mistake that determines your character. And if I had to sell my house and move my family somewhere else to make everybody whole, I would do something like that. And I think when you're in this game, when man, over the last couple of years, the things that we've seen, the pandemic, the elections, the tariffs, like
Yeah.
our projects were supposed to be fully funded, and then all of a sudden tariffs hit, and now we're okay. We're still going to fund, but we just got to dial everything back and do, different tranches in terms of funding. So it's for me, my saving grace is my family. My wife has been is an extreme healthy supporter. But yeah, our whole thing is we'll do whatever we can to have people be whole, and we will always be able to continue to fight another day.
When I can tell in your voice too, it's, we're taking care of investors. And
Yeah.
that's a big, and I'll say this for people in the chat. I know we talk a lot about single asset funds, and I'm always preaching funds, but it is a big deal when you take someone else's hard-earned money into a project, into a deal. It is a big deal. It is not to be taken lightly. It needs to be buttoned up. It needs to be done the right way. It needs to be reported on correctly. It needs to be, for no, just lack of a better term, done the right way. You are a
Yes.
fiduciary, and furthermore, I love what you just touched on was playing the long game.
Mhm.
This is a game, and our community is I think very good at this. Is we're not about just getting quick wins and burning investors and moving on that. This is a reputation game. We're playing this for 8 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 30. I plan on playing this game for the next 45, 50, 60 years. So your reputation, how you treat a customer or an investor right now really means a lot. And sometimes that means, you know what, I'm not going to take my stake. I'm going to make sure you're made whole because I care
Yeah.
more about my reputation as a money manager, as a fiduciary over the next 50 years than I do about, I know on paper I could have taken my split and but I wanted to make sure you were whole and taken care of. And I love what you brought up, Ben. I think that's great.
One of the things,
Oh, go
just
ahead.
quickly add that is we're quick to give bad news to our investors.
I love that. Yeah.
And I say that like if they know what's going on, they're more accessible to work with. And if they hear through a grapevine that something's not right, it, it goes sideways fast. So be quick to give bad news, and things will always work out.
Transparent. Yeah. It's what's funny is it's one of the hardest things is to give bad news to your investor. I'm in crypto, for crying out loud. I mean, we've been just nuked. I mean, this year, crypto's fall. Ethereum's down 55% since December. I believe, roughly. Now, that was mid-April. Now it's come up a little bit. I think 10% today. Like, crypto's just volatile. We send out reports every 2 weeks. And so we're in a volatile market, and we level with people. Yeah, this is where it's at. Now, we think it's going to go here. We think we're going to move here. But just, man, like, there's been a few assets that just have been nuked. The whole market just got nuked just barely. And then we'll have these huge, like, but you dovetail that with Q4 of last year. Our fund was up, I think, 74% Q4. And then this year, though, it's like down like 30%. We've had big swings, but I love what you said. We're very transparent. One of my favorite texts I ever got was from an investor. He said, Bridger, I have never been in a fund that's given me so much info on everything that's going on in my positions.
That's
I
great.
love the transparency, up or down, good or bad. I love how clear you are. We do every year, we do an annual audit. We hire third-party auditors to come and audit our fund. We publish those to all our investors, and we have a third-party administrator that gives reports to all investors for that same purpose, what Ben put there. To wrap this up, and then we'll come over to Peter. And maybe I'll ask you this question, Ben. We'll see what your answer is, and I can give my answer. But someone asked me, this, to be frank, this tariff thing has been all over the place for our business. I mean, it's been up and down this last month, and it's so crazy that April ended up a break even for the stock market, which is crazy. But it was such a pivot down, then up, and then down, and then up. It was just a crazy month. So middle of the month, it's like down. Everything's on fire. People are calling. This is just fresh. Someone asked me, like, Bridger, is it like, and people might be wondering in the chat, is it worth it? Is it worth being in the game? Is it worth going through the headache? People, love talking about entrepreneurship, and it is hard. And Elon Musk says it's like chewing glass and staring into the abyss. And someone asked me the question was like, is it worth it? And my answer, well, I'll pause on my answer. Ben, what would be your answer?
So it's a little different for me. I coached college basketball for a long time, and I love being miserable. Right. So if I'm not miserable, I'm not happy. As Tom Thibodeau would say, is, coach of the Knicks. But no, I love that the days are not the same. And I'm a big problem solver. So I get so much gratification from solving problems, whether they're small or big. And as a result, I love what I do. Um, One of the things that your community, what it did for me was open my eyes to so many different solutions that I never even thought possible. So, yeah, I would say that I wouldn't change it. I'd change a couple things, but I wouldn't change very many things. I really enjoy the challenge of being an entrepreneur and the ability. My whole thing is my goal is just to spend more time with my kids. And money is the byproduct, and it allows me to do that. I want to be there for my kids, and this allows me to do that.
Peter, what would be your answer to that question?
I mean, to me, it's what's the alternative? I mean, especially being in a hedge fund where you're trading public markets, would I rather stick my money in a S&P 500 index fund, stick my head in the sand and watch it drop 30% and hope? No, that's why I'm in the game, and I can help other people do it because there's such a learning curve. People that love what they do, engineers, doctors, nurses, um, people that are out there taking care of others, they don't have time to sit in front of their computer and manage, investment portfolios. And yeah, with hedge funds, you can help those people, and you can help, big institutions. It's really who you want to focus on. But absolutely, I mean, I love watching the markets. Yes, I watch my candle charts every day. I turned them off for this webinar, but yeah, you can make so much impact as well.
Yeah. You touched on two things there. The impact you make on customers and people's lives is huge. And Ben, you're the same way. You have investors that you come in. For me, and I have a quote on my wall right here, the man in the arena quote.
Yes.
You guys have heard that before. The crowds will cheer and boo and whatever, but there's something about being in the game. Someone asked me that question, Bridger, man, is it all worth it? I'm like, man, we've lost all this money, but like last year we made all this money. It was awesome. Like it was fantastic. And then we lost some money. Then we made some money, but over time, and we're treating people right. We're building this. And I love being in the game. I love being a decision maker. I love being in the boardroom, the one that's actually running things, rather than an intern, rather than the analyst, rather than the guy presenting the data to somebody else to make the decision. I like being the person that's in the game. Life is too short to let other people make decisions for your career. They can show up to work and fire you or hire you or do whatever. I love being the person who is in the game. And if that comes with a little bit of volatility, so be it. But overall, if you keep swinging the bat, man, you're probably going to hit something. You might hit a double, a single, or maybe a double, triple grand slam. And being in the game and taking actual real swings with the bat, I think is the funnest thing of life. And it's phenomenal. And overall, when you zoom out a little bit, like for me at least, what we've done with Fun Launch or Ugly Unicorn or other businesses has been like phenomenal. And we've helped hundreds of thousands of people's lives in this. It's just like, wow. So the clients we've helped, being in the game, it's just all coming over like, yes, it is totally worth a Terrafor that nuked our portfolio in 3 weeks and then brought it all back 3 weeks later. Like, the heartache from that is like, yeah, it's worth being in the game. Being in the game is pretty fun. Being somebody who's doing it is awesome. So, Ben and Peter, thank you for coming on today. Let's do one last question. I'll look in the chat here if there's any other ones here, but we'll go to Peter.
Mhm.
What would be, and I'll say this as well. Peter and Ben are part of the Single Asset Fund group. So both were in Black Card. We're members, both launched their funds and did cool stuff. We've now invited them to come help with Single Asset Funds. So people that just joined, if you guys were in Single Asset Funds, Ben, I think your office hour is which day? Is it Thursdays?
Thursdays at 3.
Thursdays at 3.
No, sorry, Tuesdays at 3. Tuesdays at 3 Eastern. Tuesdays at 3 Eastern.
Okay, Tuesdays at 3 Eastern. So you'll be live in just a few days.
Yeah.
And Peter, what time are you going on?
Wednesdays at noon Mountain, 2 Eastern.
Okay, Wednesdays at 2 Eastern, 12 Mountain. Okay, very cool. So next week when you guys just join, you'll be able to hop on for an hour with Peter or Ben, get questions answered, work with them. You guys are awesome. Peter, any final words of wisdom from you before we sign off for people that maybe are considering launching an incubator, getting in this game, they're on that fence? What kind of thoughts or wisdom would you give them?
If you're ready if you think you want more, you can do more. Step into the game, just like we were talking about. The value of these single asset funds, and talking the hedge fund incubator, which I have a lot of the experience around, that helps you change your mindset, level up, and get ready to play in the big leagues. And I think getting a group together that you jump into, and you're surrounded by other people with the same goals and ambitions, it'll just accelerate your journey. That's why I joined Black Card. Was okay. I'm the guy that reads all the legal docs. I'm an umpire for my daughter's softball team, so I just embrace pain. But I joined.
I didn't know that. You're an umpire?
Oh yeah.
What's your best strikeout
if I'm
call?
the compliance guy, I might as well be an umpire.
Give me your best strikeout call. Are you like a hey guy? Are you like a do you get pretty animated? Give me what do you?
I'm pretty mellow because it's a bunch of third graders that we run the risk of crying. So
you're not gonna really strike.
No, we're not doing the all out strikeout at this point. But and then I'm just there to get yelled at by parents, really. But
yeah, I bet. Oh man, sorry, I cut you off though. Keep going.
Yeah, so I joined Fund Launch because it would accelerate the journey. It would get me to where I wanted to go faster than me just trying to do it on my own. And I think that's exactly what the single asset fund program does. Is it gets you in, you're committed to something, and as the coaches, we want to help break down barriers and get you through so that you're launching, delivering, and seeing early success quickly so that you can grow and scale as well.
Love it, Peter. Well said. Ben, same question to you. Final thoughts for someone maybe they're looking at doing their first deal or fifth deal, or kind of in this transition period of, should I play in the big league? Should I play small? What would you tell that person?
I think from stepping up into the next level, if, as Peter said, if you want to do it, you can do it, right? And I think you're going to learn so much. One thing about, as I said earlier, if I had this program when I was starting out, I would have saved so much money, not only money, time, right? And gain the knowledge. So I'm huge on coaching because that's what my whole life has been. And we're always told, and in the athletic world, our schedules are set for us. We hold accountable. Programs like this allow you to be accountable on growing your business and allowing you to step into that game. I mean, you can't jump on an NFL field with never playing football before, right? So if you want to get onto that field, we're giving you the knowledge to do so. And big deals create big rewards, but you gotta know what you're doing. And this will allow you to kind of learn from others' mistakes, I guess you can put it, and save money and time when you're doing it.
Yeah, spot on. Alexis mentioned that yesterday of standing on the shoulders of people that came before you, or just avoiding
Yeah.
all the mistakes of people that came before you.
Yeah, that's better.
Which is
Yeah.
that's what humanity is built on. Like, hey, we learn, hopefully we can learn from history and learn from the history of me, Ben, and Peter of what went well, what didn't go well, and how to tweak it in the future. So thank you two for coming on today. If the chat can, please give Peter and Ben a huge round of applause. If you can, I don't know, virtual version of a round of applause. Give them a drop an emoji or some love in the chat. Well done and well put on today. Thank you guys.
Thanks. Appreciate it, Berger.
See ya. Like I said earlier, if you want to share my screen, this is so they'll be live next week on the group office hours for people in the Single Asset Fund program. Then we got Dustin and Dan as well. They came on yesterday. They'll be out live for these times. So let's do this for the next few minutes. We can go back to, and I can talk about closing. I'd love to just answer questions though. I think there's a lot of people that have good questions that have been dropped in the chat. I know, and I want to make sure you have time to answer them. Does that sound like a good plan? We just go Q&A. I'm going to pull up the iPad and we just go bang, bang on all these different questions. Go from there. What do you guys think though? Do you want to go closing or do you want to go Q&A? Type, I don't know. Tell me in the chat. This is our live call. Q&A or more on the closing. So type in closing or type in Q&A. I can do either one. I'll give you a vote here. Type in the chat what you guys think. Closing. Wow, the people want the closing. Look at that. Q&A. Oh no, some Q&As are coming in. All right, we'll see. Let's see who can win here. Okay, a lot of people want closing. All right. I'm a man of the people. Let's do what the people want, I guess. We'll try here. Share my screen one more time. So if you want to talk to our team, I believe, and Adam can tell me, phone calls might be gone at this point. I'm not sure. We usually run out of phone calls. So if they're still alive, go check the link though. It's fundlaunch.com/SAF. You want to talk to a team member. Monday at midnight, we are closing this off. You guys can come. We can help you be a part of this game of setting up your single asset fund and actually executing on deals. And or if you want someone to review your deals, look at your deals, help you find deals, it's all included on there. We have all those coaches. We will, the goal is to do whatever we can to help you execute and make you successful for what you're doing. So with that, you guys ready to talk closing? All right, let's do it. Let's go back to, I'm gonna pull up my slides here. So earlier, we talked about a little review here, brief review. Getting in the room, connecting in the room, and closing the room, okay? So here we are. We talked work your way or buy your way in, right? How do you get in the rooms? We talked about the supercar example. It's one example. You could do a lot of stuff, but one way we got into different rooms. Connecting in those rooms. We shared a few examples here about building out your list. Now, the people spoke. I guess they want the closing. I have never taught this publicly before what I'm about to teach. I shared this last week for the first time at our Black Card Summit in Dallas, Texas. We had about 200 Black Card members there. So you guys are the second group to ever hear this. Hopefully it's better than the first. First time went okay, but we'll transition here to the second time. So let's talk about closing. This is actually pretty cool. I want to share. This is one of my favorite things to share with you guys. So y'all ready if we get into it? Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Let's talk first on, so this is the close. We're now to the point where we're going to sell. We're in the boardroom. We have the pitch deck. We're actually making the offer. How do we actually close somebody? And again, this person, we've got in the room, they are warmed up to the idea of working with us to connect. If you just jump to close, it's a little bit harder. You can still do it, but they're warmed up to the idea we're now closing. So the first thing I do is VIE. You'll kind of see here, VIE and 7P of P. We'll explain what those mean here right now. So close. I've read a ton of books on sales, psychology, or in class book. They all talk about the same psychological movement that happens in a potential customer's brain. Some people call it the croc brain, midbrain, neurocortex. What I'm going to call it is vehicle internal external, or VIE. So let's walk through these, and I'll give you a few examples how these work. They might seem relatively simple, but I'm going to share truly how every offer, every email we write, landing pages we put out, even this 3-day challenge. I'll actually show you these 3-day challenges or whatever I talk about. We always follow vehicle internal external. This is how I approach it. If I take a sales call with an investor, I'm following vehicle, internal, external. There they are. So what do these mean? Okay. And this is what I would plug into your deck. Guess what? The top of my deck is vehicle. The middle of my deck is internal. The end of my deck is external. Okay. That's how I build out the psychology behind how I sell or present anything. So let's dive in. Number one, vehicle. Does this asset class work, or does this thing work just in general? Okay. So if I'm pitching a crypto fund, does crypto work like in general? Does crypto work? Does multifamily real estate work? That's the question, the first question that investors are asking in their brain. Okay. Does venture capital actually work? Like, hey, I'm here today to present a venture capital fund. The first question I got to answer is, does venture capital actually work? Y'all follow along? So how I do this in I'll give you a real example. So if I hop on to a pitch with somebody, I'll actually ask them straight up, hey, what's your experience with multifamily real estate? Do you guys invest in this asset class? Is it in your portfolio? What do you guys do so far? And if they tell me, oh yeah, we own a bunch of multifamily, we love multifamily. Great. I've already I've checked off the box, like vehicle is answered. I'll explain the next three and then I'll kind of come back and give examples. Okay. Next one, internal. Does it work for me or us or with your strategy and your team? Okay. In the context of funds. So does multifamily work? Yes. The next question, okay, does it work with you and your team? That's the second question. And then the last one is, okay, external things, timing, this is time, money, knowledge, fund terms, timing, sizing, etc. Okay, that's external. Let me give you a few examples here. Let me give you the example of funds with like Fund Launch. Okay, we threw an event, Fund Launch Live last year. Okay, Fund Launch Live. When I get on stage at the beginning, we had 2,000 people in an audience. Like, what am I going to talk about? I have 3 days of content. What are we going to do? The first thing I'm trying to convince someone of at Fund Launch Live is that funds work. Funds work in general. Look at all these billionaires that run funds. I did this challenge. Look at all these billionaires that run funds. Look at all these successful people that runs. Funds work in general. Okay, in general, funds are an amazing way to make money. Okay, I'm giving you all the secrets here. This is how we do it. Funds work. I am trying to sell you on the vehicle. Go back to my slides here. Okay, now that I've sold you on my vehicle, okay, Bridger, yes, I get that funds work for other people. Yeah, I get it works for you. I get it works for Alex Hormozy. It works for Russell Brunson. It works for Pace Morby. It works for the other guy on stage. The next question is, does it work for me? Could it work for someone like me that lives in my location or has my age or has my background? So in that example, we'll start sharing examples, stories. We'll bring people on live to talk about their experience. Hey, this is someone that's young. This is someone that's old. This is someone that's funds could work for you. Funds work in venture capital and private equity and multifamily, whatever the thing is. Is that making sense? So if I can get somebody to believe, okay, funds work and funds work for me, it could work for my situation. The next question that then comes up, okay, so back to my thing, external. So how much time is it going to take? Money, knowledge, how much, maybe throw my slides up. How much time, money, knowledge, that kind of stuff, external things. Is that making sense? Now, if someone, so I'm going to keep using the same example, at Fund Launch Live, 2,000 people, okay? If someone isn't sold on the vehicle or internal and asks me a question on, hey, how much money is it? I can answer that question, but I want to make sure they're first sold on vehicle and internal. There is no point in answering a question that's an external question if someone isn't sold on the vehicle or internal first. So let me give you another example here. So, let's just use the fund example. At Fund Launch Live, people are like, hey, I'm thinking about doing a fund. How much money is it to set up a fund? I'll go, hold on, wait. I can answer that question, but real quick, do you believe funds work? Like you could build a fund? Yes. Do you believe a fund would work for your situation? Oftentimes the answer is like, no, maybe. I'm like, well, let's talk about that. Why wouldn't it work? How would it work in this? Could you find deals? Could you do this here? Because if someone says, yeah, a fund works, and yeah, a fund would work for me, money's not an issue. If you really believe a fund could work for you, I mean, fund managers are making millions and tens of millions of dollars. You're 20 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand, doesn't matter. Like, I'm going to make it happen. Money. Have you ever met somebody that's a lay down sale for anything you're selling before? A lay down sale is someone who has belief, go back to my slides, belief on the vehicle, belief on the internal. If they're solely believed on, this vehicle works let's use funnel building with Russell Brunson. If you believe building a funnel works and it could work for you, money doesn't matter. You'll figure it out. You'll find the money. You're going to figure this thing out. Timing, it's all going to get figured out. External usually is the smaller things. Is this kind of making sense? Let me share you another example. Let's go back to funds. Okay. So I'm going to use an extreme example with crypto. Okay. Crypto is kind of interesting. Some people like crypto. Some people hate crypto. Some people are all over the place. So back to crypto vehicle. I will hop on a call with somebody every time I do this. If you're an investor, you hop on a call, I go, hey, welcome on. Good to see you. Hey, real quick, before we start, give me your experience with crypto. Do you like crypto? Do you not like it? Do you guys invest in crypto? I'm asking, how sold are you on the vehicle of just cryptocurrency in general? And they'll tell me, yeah, we kind of like it. We blah, blah, blah. Great. And then I hop into my slides. Well, let me tell you, like Oren Klaff, the tectonic plates that are shifting right now in the world of crypto. Scott Bessent, Secretary of the Treasury, just announced that they're going to move the US dollar to an international and stable coin type of situation. We have MasterCard, PayPal, Citigroup, BlackRock, Fidelity, all pushing different crypto platforms. We are seeing a tidal wave of capital flowing in the blockchain direction. And I go through thing after thing about how blockchain's emerging. California just announced 45 million car titles are being moved to blockchain and using the Avalanche blockchain to do that. You can buy and sell cars on a blockchain. California as a state just announced that. And I keep walking through it. Let me walk you through it. Boom, boom, boom. And then I'll pause. Do you guys see why we love crypto so much? Is that making sense? Do you see why, this asset class is emerging right now? Do you see why there's so much money flowing this direction? If they say no, I will stay on vehicle the entire pitch. I am not moving on to vehicle because I'll tell you why. So let me tell you a story where I did this the wrong way. I hopped on a call with a family office. We were talking about our crypto fund. We hop on, they got 4 or 5 guys on there. We know the family somewhat. This looks great. I asked them some questions. Okay, let's dive in. We then dive in. We talk about our fund. We talk about how the fund works, how to enter the fund, what we're, all the internal and external things. At the end of the call, we're kind of like, hey, okay, any questions? What do you guys think? Is this something that would fit your portfolio? One of the main guys on the call, he raised his hand. He's like, sorry guys, I just don't even, what is blockchain? Like, what even is crypto? What's like, I've heard of Ethereum before, like XRP, like what are even these tokens? And I was like, oh my gosh, we're idiots, dude. Like we just spent the last 45 minutes going through, if you go back, through internal and external things when the guy wasn't even sold on the vehicle. And take a guess if they closed. Nope, they did not close. Okay. I'll share another example. So this would be like, now you can jump through quickly or slowly, but I would make sure you do this in order. Is this making sense? Y'all follow along? I have done now hundreds, if not over 1,000 pitches. This stands true. If you read marketing books, sales books, psychology books, they all talk about, they call them different things, but I call them vehicle, internal, external. It's because a lot of books call them that same thing. This is a tested and true principle of how our brains digest information. If I was doing multifamily real estate, okay? If I hop on a call, hey, walk me through multifamily real estate. Do you guys own any? Do you like this asset class? Yeah, we love it. We have a ton of multifamily real estate. Great. They are sold on the vehicle. I'm not going to talk about the vehicle much. Yeah, we love multifamily too. Yeah, we're doing it. Let's now talk about let's talk to internal because I've checked it off. They're sold on vehicle. I'm going to talk about, okay, we're entering the Dallas market right now. We're going to do in the southeast corner of Dallas, there's a plot of land. We believe that Dallas is growing. I'm going to talk about a specific piece of Dallas, right? Or the market, still kind of vehicle. And then I'm going to say, our team is positioned well to capitalize on this because of X, Y, and Z. We got these great things that's going to happen. Here's our background. Here's our track record. We're going to take down this deal and do all these great things, all internal things. And then external, okay, we're going to charge a 2 and 20 model. We're going to do 8% pref. We're going to be paid back in 18 months. We're going to have a recap at this point, blah, 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 all external things. Does that make sense? Is that useful at all? Any idea there? So I'll even go, let me can you pull up the chat for a second? Sorry, I don't see it in front of me. Yeah, kind of helpful. I'm kind of sharing, this is how, so the last 3 days, this is like what we did, okay? Let me go here. All right, hopefully this is useful. When is Q&A? I asked you guys about Q&A. Everyone wanted this closing paragraph. So anyways, we'll do Q&A right after this. We can keep going. And I can answer questions as we go, though. All right, so that's how I frame so the beginning of my deck is all around the vehicle. Why you should think about venture capital. Why you should be just in general, in private equity. If you've never invested in private equity, well, let me tell you why private equity is an amazing asset class to be in. Or let me tell you why this vehicle is awesome. Next, let me tell you why my team, we can capitalize on this vehicle. And then third, this is how we've structured the deal. Time, money, knowledge, fund terms, all that kind of stuff. Cool? Follow along? Okay. Last thing I'll share that I make sure to engineer in every pitch. This is the 7 Principles of Persuasion. This comes from the book Influence and a bunch of other books that have also been written on this, all psychology books. I'm just sharing psychology of selling. This is not Bridger's content. This is from a bunch of PhDs and very smart people. You've heard some of these before. I'll go through them relatively quickly and then we'll do Q&A. Sound good? Yeah? Give me a yes in the chat if this is all right. Yeah? Any love? All right, keep going. You guys are awake over there? Hello, hello? Yeah, let's do it. Okay. I make sure at the end of during my close to try to put in as many of these 7 principles as possible when I'm pitching. I'll give you an example for Ugly Unicorn. So number 1, these are the principles of persuasion. Authority. They have got to see you're an authority on the topic. Pretty obvious, right? They got to see that you're like an authority on this space. Oren Klaff talked about this yesterday, talking about the macro events, the tectonic plates, the big shifts that are happening on why, HVAC business in, Boise, Idaho is going to crush, right? Or Charlotte, North Carolina, we're buying this, but that's why it's going to do well there. You got to be an authority on this topic. Number 2, scarcity and urgency. Every good offer needs to have scarcity and urgency, especially for funds. Hey, we're doing a closing May 30th. The deal is closing. We're money's coming in. We're raising $2.1 million. May 30th, we got to close by. That's the urgency, the timeline. Furthermore, this offering's filling up. We're talking to a number of investors right now. We're taking money in. We're accepting LOIs. We believe we will be oversubscribed on this deal. That's the vernacular you got to use. If you're begging, no one wants to give money to someone that's begging for money. Please put money in my deal. No. Hey, we're the pretty girl at the dance. Everyone wants to dance with us. We're talking to a lot of people. I wanted to bring this to you because you're a good friend of mine. But we believe we're going to be oversubscribed on this deal. It's $2.1 million. All docs are due by May 25th because we got to close May 30th. So we're accepting LOIs right now. We believe we'll be oversubscribed. Where are you guys at? Okay, scarcity and urgency. And as we close money, we notify people. Hey, okay, we've now, we got $1 million in. We're looking for the remaining 1.2. Oh, we're $1.5 million. We're $1.7 million. We're about to close out. You'll be surprised. Your best money will come in the last second. And you got to have scarcity and urgency. Our last close with Fund Launch Partners, $30 million raise. It took us like 8 months to raise the first $5 million. The next $25 million was raised in the last 2 months, which is kind of crazy. We got Peter on the stage. Maybe we'll send him to backstage still. Because we started saying, hey, we got money. We're going to be oversubscribed. We're closing the fund. It's closing out. Everyone's, fine, I'll get in. It's funny how much FOMO, and for these big professional investors, how much FOMO they feel from scarcity and urgency. All right, number 3, commitment. People generally follow through with commitments. So, asking for, hey, we're asking for commitments on this as a verbal commitment, pending all things check out. Where are you guys at? Is this something you would subscribe to, right? We're going to do commitment. Social proof. Who else is doing this, right? What other people are coming in? Reciprocity, we generally like to, if someone gives you a gift, you generally want to give them a gift back. This is something cool. My business partner, Dan Young's so good at this. Every time we're on a call with somebody, he's always looking to how to help their business. So if we pitch our fund, we talk about Ugly Unicorn, we're pitching. At the end, he goes, hey, your business, you guys are doing something cool. Hey, do you guys need help with marketing? Oh yeah. Oh, hey, I've got a great guy over here. Let me connect you and we'll help you do marketing. Or Dan sells computers. Hey, we can help get some computers for your team. Or, oh, Bridger's really good at funds. Are you guys ever want to launch a fund? Oh, Bridger can help coach you guys and help you through a fund thing. Yeah, let's do a phone call. I can connect you with some guys. We're always trying to help there outside of the deal. How do I help this person and build a relationship with them? Tons of reciprocity. And then I think, let's see, 2 more here. Liking community. People generally do deals with people they like. Pretty simple, right? But have fun. Be someone who is likable. Build a long-term relationship. Don't burn bridges. And the last one's community. How do you build a community in a fund? What we've done is with our other investors. So we say, hey, when you join our fund, this is just an afterthought, but we do about every quarter, every 6 months, we get all of our investors together for a dinner or a night, and you get to come and just meet the other investors. We got some really quality people in here. There's nothing in it for us, but we've seen tens of millions of dollars of deal flow happen between just our investors meeting each other and doing deals together. Everyone in our deal has been KYC'd and AML. These are quality people. If you'd like, we have this amazing group of investors. You're invited to come out to dinners and meetups that we do with our investors. Would that be kind of cool? It's interesting when you engineer, every time I do an offer, I try to engineer all 7 into the offer, but if you can get 5, that's good. 5, back. So back to my slides here to summarize. During the close, vehicle, internal, external, and the 7 principles of persuasion. So to summarize here, number 1, get in the room, work or buy your way into the room. Number 2, connect, build a list of people either on your phone, a professional list, but you're going to nurture that list to build up and warm that person up to get the chance to close them with VIE and 7 P's of P's. How we feeling? Was that useful? Not bad? All right, let's do this. I mentioned Q&A. Let's do Q&A now. Any questions, any follow-ups, things that aren't clear, things that you'd love me to go on. We'll pull out the iPad here, and I'd love to help you with your deals, whatever, what's holding you back. What would be something that is stopping you right now? Something you got a question on. It's like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Let's drop the questions in the Q&A box. It's much easier for me to organize them, except for it's teeny on our screen. Actually, I can pull it up on my screen right here. I'll pull them up over here. Thank y'all. Incredibly useful. Thanks, David. What book did you mention about the 7 principles? Yeah, that book is on influence. That's an old book. There's been a bunch of books written after that book. The book is called Influence. It was written back in the 1980s, I believe. And then like 100 books have been written on top of that. But that's like the core. I like to go back in time and like find who was the first person to come up with this. There's a lot of marketers today and people that like just repackage content. Alex Hormozy, but I love Alex. But man, a lot of the stuff he teaches came from like Russell Brunson. But what's funny is Russell Brunson took a lot of his stuff from like Jeff Walker. And then Jeff Walker took a bunch of his stuff. So you got to go back and they all add a bunch of good stuff. But if you go back and find the core source of truth, it's actually does pretty well. All right, let me move my link here. And by the way, for calls, I don't know if we're out of calls. Are we out of calls, Adam? We might be done with calls. I think we might have filled up. I don't know. We might have added a few more. If you want to talk to our team though, at least if they're still, you could go check if they're available. We have a few calls. Okay, great, Adam. Yeah, drop the link in the chat. If you want to talk to our team between now and Monday night at midnight, can help you with your single asset fund. Sweet. Let me share, let's do this. iPad here. All right, let's talk some deals. Let's do Q&A here. Scarcity in the calls. Yes, exactly. There's scarcity. Got to have scarcity. There you go. Thank you so much. This was a blessing. Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Okay, let's do Q&A. Let's go. Any recommendations for non-profit funds? Let's see. You can see that, right? See my iPad maybe? Non-profit funds. To connect with grant funds to source funds for charitable funds to invest into real estate. So good question. That depends on the flavor of your nonprofit. Some nonprofits are obviously just doing like charity work. That's all they're doing, which is great. I cannot help you that much with these. I mean, other people can. I'm not that great at those. Some charities though, try to go let's see, this is the charity. I'm going to put like a side vehicle here. We're going to call this the endowment model. The endowment model is you have a bunch of money, you raise 50 million into an endowment. The endowment makes money. Let's just say it makes just simple math, 10% per year. it makes a 5%, $5 million per year. And that 5 million now is in the charity, and the charity can use that every single year to fund charitable works. And this charity, is self-sufficient. It can run by itself forever. This is the endowment model. Okay. A lot of funds do different things here, but they can use a GP LP structure. Okay. Which is pretty cool. So you can use this structure to run an endowment. Now, the one thing is all the proceeds go to the charity, right? And there's a little bit of structure here, but the GPLP model can still work for this. Harvard Endowment has like $40 billion in this structure. And right now it's like, are they going to have tax exempt status? Who knows? Okay. But they have an endowment that funds all the things that they do at Harvard. Okay. This would be the endowment model. Is that making sense? How does the GPLP pitch compare to a syndication pitch in your opinion? Yeah, good question. So if I was going to pitch like GPLP versus, doing a SPV or syndication, relatively similar. That's an external concern of somebody, how the deal structured together. What I found for people that are that know what they're doing, investors that know what they're doing, a lot of them prefer the GPLP structure that I've seen because it's more buttoned up. Someone who doesn't know either way, I don't think it matters to them, but people that are more sophisticated, what I've seen, they actually really like the GPLP structure. There are some investors though they like an SPV or syndication because it gives them more control. And I'll say this, GPLP structure, I would tell you to do 9 times out of 10 if you're raising from, multiple investors. The 1 time out of 10 though, I would tell you to do an SPV or syndication if you have one investor. If you have just one big investor, you're essentially partners with them, you can do an SPV or syndication. But anytime you start mixing in multiple investors, much better protections for everybody involved with the GPLP structure. That's what I'd tell you. Which makes sense. I have one group that has multiple state real estate development deals for which we put an LOI, but selling is one big package. Can I create a single fund for this, or should this be a GPLP structure? I have one group that has multiple state real estate development deals for which we input an LOI, but is selling as one package. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So if you've got, GP LP structure, we're talking about doing a single asset fund. You do one deal at a time. Another version of this is where you do a multi-asset fund. You do like 20 assets, and that would be more of what we call a blind pool, because they're not identified. You're blind going into this one. Is what they're doing. Oh shoot, exactly what they're doing with this single asset fund right there. Sorry, I'll zoom in so you guys can see it. The kind of mix that sometimes happen is you have like a 3-pack or something. It's a single asset fund, but it's a portfolio. You're buying like 3 specific deals that you can see all together in one. Yes, this model works great for all 3 of these. It works great. It's just a little bit of vernacular changes on. There we go. Multi-asset would be a blind pool. This is a multi-asset, but the deals that are involved. And this would be a single asset where there's just one deal involved. Hopefully that answers. Would Grant Cardone be doing a GPLP structure? Yeah. Grant's, he's doing pretty much exclusively GPLP. That's what he does. Yeah. Grant does this 9 times out of 10. He's doing this right here. Yep. What's the difference between a single asset fund, an incubator, and a hedge fund? Oh yeah. So single asset fund incubator, we call it an incubator just because it's a hedge fund. And let me make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. Here we go. So, what's a hedge fund incubator? How does that work? A hedge fund incubator is a GP LP structure. But instead of having limited partners, which are LPs that put money in this structure, you do not do this in an incubator. What an incubator does is you bring in members of your general partner. So you bring in 3 people. These are friends and family. They own a piece of the general partner. And then maybe you put some money in as well. And all of the money gets contributed to the limited partnership here. Oh, shoot. And so that's why, so you don't have limited partners. That's why the legal cost to set this up goes way down. It's way cheaper. You're just a general partner that's contributing general partner dollars into the limited partnership. Now, that being said, these people are partners with you on the general partner. And so it acts a little bit kind of like that SPV syndication I would do. So I would only do this with a handful of people that you really trust as partners. And then once you're ready to go to a full fund, then you would go, set up your whole fund and you would bring in true limited partners over here and they would put money in. And then you'd be just a normal hedge fund once you bring in limited partners. But the incubator, you can launch this for, a few $1,000s and set up your GP, your LP, and then you bring in partners here that put money in, and then that money all comes together and gets contributed to limited partnership. Yeah. Sweet. Which software are you using to share screen with integrated with Zoom? We got some cool softwares. I don't even know the name. I think it's OBS. OBS is the name. Yeah. We got a cool studio here. You can give us a walk around of our studio. We got a pretty sick studio from Kendall and Eli. Put together something pretty cool. We got floating shoes in the background. We got all sorts of cool stuff. So there you go. Can the incubator start with only own money? You can bring in other. So if you had like friends, family, people around you that want to put money in, they would come in as partners on the general partner with you, and you put your money together in the general partner and then contribute it to the limited partnership. Yeah. From YouTube, given the number of endowments that are now finding it difficult to exit from prior fund commitments, is this an opportunity for you to buy out their position and gain access to deals? Yes. Yeah. So this is what's called, so now you guys are learning about funds. There's a cool thing called secondary funds. A secondary fund. So I'll draw this out over here in black. You guys can see this okay? So what's interesting. So there's some of these funds, like let's say a big fund. We've got a GP, LP. By the way, they all do GP, LPs. They'd say they've got, $800 million in this fund. Okay. 800 million from a bunch of different limited partners. LP, LP, LP. Okay. All these people have contributed money and they're running this fund. Sometimes, so in these funds, depends on how you structure them, but some funds have lockup periods where their money is locked up for, because maybe they're investing into venture capital, for example. Venture capital takes time. It takes sometimes 7 years or whatever. So their money is locked up. Let's just use 7 years that their money is locked up. Every once in a while, a limited partner has to get liquidated. They're like, hey, I got to get out. But the nature of the fund, it's like, hey, you can't pull your money out because we don't have liquidity because your money is locked up for 7 years. And if sometimes there's a penalty, if you want to pull your money out, it's a 50% penalty to pull your money out. And they do this on purpose because you don't want investors coming in out of your fund because we've invested in 25 startups and we got to wait until they IPO and make it all happen. We're fiduciaries to the fund, like we talked about earlier. So what happens is, let's say this limited partner right here is, stressed out. They need to get out. They will sometimes offer to sell their position at a discount. So let's say they put in $1 million to this $800 million fund. Well, they would say, hey, you know what? We'll sell our position for a 15% discount. It's $1 million. We'll sell it. Someone can come buy it from us for $850,000. And you're plugged in right into the fund, which is kind of cool. This is called a secondary market or a secondary fund. There's some full out funds. This is all they do. They wait and then they come buy this position. They've automatically grabbed a 15% markup because they came in at a discount and they're in a fund. And sometimes they're of the 7 years, they're already 3 years in. So they only have 4 more years to go to get this whole return, which is kind of cool. So that's the secondary funds. I've seen some that are just crushing it. I mean, they do very, very well. You got to be somewhat larger to do this and set up on funds, but it's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. So when you join the single asset funds, somebody's asking, you get 2 full limited partnerships built out as founding members, not 1, but 2. Okay. Yeah. It's pretty cool. If you have more questions, you can go to fundlaunch.com/SAF, fundlaunch.com/SAF. I'll put it right here. And I guess we still have calls available, which is sweet. Usually we run out. So we got calls available, which is awesome. Funlaunch.com/SAF. If you want to go book a call with our team between now and Monday, we are closing it off and we're going to work with these founding members. We want to give them results. We want to get them to crush it. We want to help them go do big deals. And then we'll bring them on and we'll later on probably do a webinar and have them come on and share all their success stories and what they're doing and how it's working. And then we'll probably open it up again in, a matter of time. But we really want to work on these founding members, about 50 of them, that we can really help them get results and crush it and launch their fund and everything. Alan, is a SAF is set up and launched with an asset matching the thesis of the full fund launch to be launched soon after the SAF? Is it possible to roll up both the asset and members of the SAF onto the full fund? Is it possible to roll up both the asset and the members of the SAF under the full fund? Oh, later on. Yeah. So let me do this. Give me a second here. So like what happens down the road? All right, let's see. Yeah, this slide. So when you launch your first single asset fund, maybe share this screen, you'll launch it. Let's just say you're doing a deal. Okay. You have your management company, your general partner, limited partnership. And let's say you do another deal. You would most likely use the same management company, and then you'd have a new general partner, new limited partnership. But let's say you now want to do a full out fund. Okay. You're like, hey, I want to do a full blind pool fund. Oftentimes you're asking, can I roll these up into the big, let's say this third fund is going to be a big time fund. Could I roll the first two? Generally speaking, most time it's just separate. You just leave it as is. Okay. Because these limited partners and investors, they signed up for something and now you're changing the rules. You don't want to do that. You want to keep everything the same once you launch. However, if it's beneficial to the investors to roll them together, and you can show that, like in a court of law, you can show, no, it's way better to roll this together for XYZ reason. You actually can roll them together. But I'm just saying from experience sake, most of the time, fund one, you just leave as fund one. Fund two, you leave as fund two. And then fund three, you go buy new assets and do it there. Another good question on this, can I contribute? Like if I own a property, can I contribute into the fund? The answer is yes. Yeah, it's called a wholesale agreement. You wholesale it to the fund. You exchange your property's values for units in your fund. And then you could have investors come into your fund as well. So can you convert stuff? The answer is yes. Yeah, you can. You got to make sure it's done at fair market value. And a lot of times you want to have a third party verify that it's fair market. You don't want, I've got not a good story, but a story. This is what you do not want to do. Like I had, I had a guy, I was on his private jet with him, and this is years ago. He was bragging to me about how he bought a property for $3 million and was selling it to his own fund for $7 million. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I have this property and it's $3 million. I'm going to sell it for $7 million. And I was like, do your investors know? Like, you're going to rip $4 million personally off? He's like, oh yeah, dude, it's awesome. It's all compliant. It's buttoned up. I'm like, I kept asking, like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? The rumor is Grant Cardone's done some of these deals as well. He'll buy it for 20 and sell it to his own fund for 60 or something. And then they've had a bunch of lawsuits come from that. You do not want to do that. You are a fiduciary to your investors. You got to do what's best for your investors. Okay. If you're going to do that interdealing, it needs to be done with, I would say, multiple third-party evaluations to really show, yeah, this property really is worth $7 million. If we put it to sale right now on the market, it would sell for $7 million. And maybe you go at fair or below market value. You always want to do what's better for your investors. I laugh at that story because that one individual has had a lot of problems. He had a lot of lawsuits. He had the FBI raid his office. They were doing lots of, interesting things, at least allegedly. So we'll see what happens. And so you do not want to do that. You want to do what's best for your fund. Do it all at fair market values. Make sure there's third-party people looking at it and verifying and checking on deals. Grant Cardone had a class action lawsuit against him as well. So you do not want to interdeal. You always want to do what's best for your investors. Play the long game. Do what's good for investors. Keep winning for them. If you win for them over and over and over and over and over again, you will continue to win, and they'll give you more money and they'll trust you more. And that's the game we are playing. And I'll say this, if you are not an honest person, and if you can be honest with yourself and claim that you're not an honest person, if you have a propensity to lie or fudge the numbers a little bit or not say things accurately, you should not do this. Do not join this thing. Do not do a single asset fund. Do not do a fund. Do not ever manage money. Okay. You will eventually lead to going to jail or something bad. Okay. Now, generally speaking, I don't think most people set out to, let's talk about scam and fraud for a second. Maybe we'll go to my iPad here. I don't think most people set out to be scammers and fraudsters. What happens is they've, let's just pull up my iPad for a second. They manage $10 million. Just use round numbers here. And they're running it, but then mom gets cancer. And cancer treatment, for whatever reason, is overseas somewhere, and it's $1 million for cancer treatment. And mom's going to die unless somebody puts in $1 million to pay for her cancer treatment. And so you go, well, I have this money over here. I'm gonna pull from this money to go pay for mom's cancer. I'll make it up later. I'll pay it back later. If you do that, you've just committed securities fraud. But Bridger, mom was dying. I know mom was dying, but being a fiduciary of capital means you've got to say, no, that is not my money. That's investor money. We are not paying for mom's cancer. We're going to figure it out another way. I use an extreme example to paint a picture of what happens here. Now, another question people always ask me, like, well, so what, Bridger, like, this is a scary game. And I actually, for a long time, I was like, man, this is a crazy game to be. People go to jail or there's like securities fraud. Now I've been in this game for a number of years now. It's interesting to see a full business cycle and different funds that we've ran. What I've seen is pretty interesting. People don't just magically go to jail. Like the SEC doesn't just throw people in jail. They throw fraudsters in jail. And what are frauds? People that lie and steal and cheat and are blatantly misconducting investor capital. Okay. So if I look at my, how this looks, okay. If you have, I'll draw this out for a second. You lose money. Okay. That's the first thing that happens. So if I'm here and I lose money, what's actually funny as well, not funny, but most of these fraudsters that get caught, if they would have just made money, there's actually a lot of fraudsters. If you make money, no one knows. The SEC really only looks into and security when people lose money, when people are mad, when they get complaints. If you just make money, people back, like a lot of times you don't get looked at, which is very interesting. That's just a side tangent, but we'll go here. Generally speaking, people have lost money. And what happens is two different things happen here when people lose money. Thing number one, people want to answer the question of why? Why did we lose money? I know investing, there's just by the nature of investing, you can lose money, but the question is why? And so investors and regulators oftentimes will investigate why. Now, the first outcome is, the deal just didn't work out. Let me give you an example. I've invested in a couple of venture capital deals, angel kind of deals. I put $25,000 into this one deal. And it just didn't work out. The company failed. They paid a bunch of programmers, developers, and the company just failed. And that happens. That's investing. And I'm okay with that. As an investor, I can live with that. That's okay. I mean, it's not like if you're running stuff, like you try not to lose money, but if it does happen, like that's the nature of being an investor. Sometimes things don't work out. And so this person, they didn't go to jail, nothing like that's just what happens. It's the nature of investing in early stage startups. Sometimes they don't work. I'm okay with that. I can live with that as the investor. I was the investor in that deal. What I can't live with if someone stole the money. If someone took, my 25 grand and instead of investing into the business, they went and bought, a Lamborghini, or they went to, and partied in Vegas, right? That's where people then go to jail. And, that's where all that happens. They actually stole and lied about it. Does that make sense? for a long time, I was like, man, it's scary. One day the regulars are gonna like, no, if you're doing what you say you're doing, you're doing just fine. Yes, sometimes you didn't file the right paperwork. Okay, they'll give you a little penalty, but like this is blatant misconduct is what happens. So hopefully that makes you sleep a little bit better at night. Furthermore, for our funds, what we do every single year, most people avoid audits. I hire a third-party auditor every year to come audit my funds. We pay them like, what is it, 20 grand or whatever. We pay them to come audit us. People hate audits. Like we actually invite auditors every year. Please come audit us. Prove to other people that we are honest. And we publish our audit. You can go to uglyunicorn.com right now and see our 2022 and 2023 audit. Our 2024 audit should be done here in the next few months. Okay. We do it every single year. Furthermore, we use a third-party administrator, not a software, a full-out administrator that checks every number and checks, the auditors check them, they check each other to make sure that we prove to other people that we're honest. Okay. It's like, so yeah, just do things that are buttoned up. Do what you say you're gonna do. If you're gonna put money into a real estate deal, put money into a real estate deal. On this same note, so if you raise money, like I just said, for a real estate deal, and the best venture capital deal ever comes by, you can't do it. Okay. You raise money to put money into real estate. You have to stay within the mandate. You have to do what you say you're going to do. If you tell investors, we're going to pay this kind of return, you are going to pay that kind of return. Follow through. Okay. And even under promise, over deliver, all those things come to play. Play the long game. That's what I mean by this. Okay. People don't magically go to jail. Okay? They are blatantly stealing and defrauding and lying to investors. All right. So don't be worried. Like, don't worry if you're, if you just do what you say you're going to do, and even have auditors come and audit your funds. Play the long game. That being said, all back to me. If you're someone though who has a propensity to lie and steal and cheat, just don't enter this game, because what money does is just give you a bigger platform. Okay. So is that making sense? I got a little tangent there. Is that helpful? We can go back full screen or whatever, but we can pull up some of the chat here. Helpful? Yeah. Give me like type in the chat. I will be honest. All right. Type in the chat. I will be honest. All right. People in my Fund Launch community, we are honest. We will do what we say we're going to do. Type in I will be honest in the chat. All right. I will be honest. And if you're not going to be honest, and maybe you're honest enough with yourself to say that, you're welcome to leave. Do not go do something else. Go sell insurance. Okay. A little jab at my insurance people. Go sell insurance. All right. I love it. Sweet, y'all. Okay. Let's take a few more questions here. Okay, Bridger, can you answer this question? Can you raise and collect capital for the fund from family and friends with just the incubator operating agreement? Excuse me. I'm guessing you're saying for like a hedge fund incubator. You'll have a operating agreement, and essentially what you're doing is you're setting up a business together, a general partner, and you're all putting money in together to go enter into the limited partnership and fund the limited partnership to trade with. So yes, that's what you do. Yeah. Yeah. Send a follow-up question if that wasn't, or if you have more questions on that. Different classes in one asset fund, real estate, hard money loans. Talk a little about it. Yeah, good question. So for a single asset fund, where are we at here? For a single asset fund, I'll just redraw one. For a single asset fund, it's a single asset. So do one thing. For a single asset fund, do a single thing. I would tell you to do, it's actually like a deal, like do like just real estate. And then if you want to do a loan, do another single asset fund, set up another LP and GP, and then you do, hard money lending, you do loans. Okay. I would separate the two. I would not put them together into one fund. And this is true even for big funds, blind pool funds. On a bigger blind pool fund, you're going to set up a GP LP. So people always ask, Bridger, can I do I'll give you extreme example. I'm going to do crypto, and I'm also good at real estate, and I'm also good at hard money loans, and I want to do them all in the same fund. The answer is, can you do it? The answer is yes. You actually can do it. The better question is, should I do it? And I would tell you, no, you should not do that. Because what you're trying to show is that you're an expert in one of these things. It is extremely hard to raise money in general. It's even harder. So let me just give you an example. Hey, I'm Bridger. I'm pitching my deal here. Welcome on, investors. Good to have you guys here. Okay, so I've got my team over here. We are amazing at real estate. We love real estate. We eat, sleep, and drink real estate. That's all we do. We buy real estate all day, every day. That's what we're doing. Cool. Yeah, it's awesome. Oh, and by the way, in this fund, when you guys invest, we're also going to take some of your money. We're going to buy some real estate. We're also going to go buy a bunch of crypto because we're amazing at crypto as well. We're good traders. We're so good at crypto. We're so good at that. Oh, and by the way, when you put money in, we're also going to go trade Forex and foreign exchange. We're going to go trade that too. Oh, and by the way, we're also going to do loans because we like loans too. We're amazing at loans. We're the best guys in the world at loans. As an investor, are you investing? Your BS meter is going way off. Like, really, dude? You're the best in the world at real estate and crypto and foreign exchange and loans all at the same time. Really? Raising capital is extremely hard. It makes it harder on you. Back to my iPad here. Can you do it? Yes. Should you do it? I would tell you no. What I would tell you to do is set up different funds. And furthermore, some investors don't want to have exposure to that. So what I would do, if you really are good at this, I would set up a different GPLP structure for each one of them. And I'd have a loan fund, I'd have a crypto fund, and investors, they can invest in all three if they want. And you have different teams on different general partners on each one that are experts in that category. And that's all they think about. They eat, sleep, and drink, crypto or loans, whatever. Now, in some scenarios, I have seen some funds that have raised money, they do kind of a multi-asset strategy. But generally speaking, it is much harder to prove, especially when you're a first-time fund manager. You're just getting into this game. You're a brand new beginner, and you're an expert in everything. Like, really? Really? That's what I tell you. Good questions, y'all. We'll keep going here. Can you sell debt instead of equity in a fund using bonds or notes with a fixed APR? And if you're more successful, pay more to the investors after maturity? Yes. Yeah. We talked about this yesterday. It's called raising debt. So you can raise from equity investors that would participate in the upside and downside. You also, like Alexis came on yesterday, she talked about she raises debt, meaning she essentially gets loans from investors. So she puts together her GPLP and says, hey, investor, put money in. You're going to get an 8% fixed rate of return, 2% per quarter. And every quarter, you're going to get 2%. Great. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that money and invest we're going to lend it out. She double lend. So she's lending it out at, I think it's 18%. But and then you can raise equity and debt as well. So does that make sense? You're essentially getting a loan from investors. You can do that as well. You can also get equity from investors, which would say, hey, you're bringing money in. There's no guaranteed return, but we anticipate we're going to get a 16% return on this deal if it goes up or down. But if we could get a 25, we could get a 7. An equity investor floats, a debt investor is fixed. You sell debt or equity? Good questions. Keep typing them in the chat too. Jeffrey, if I want to purchase real estate and build a winery on a property, would you raise one fund to purchase the property and do a second equity fund to establish the winery? Maybe tell me more, Jeffrey. Are you guys, are they going to be ran as one business together or kind of separate businesses? Is the winery, like, you're going to do multiple locations? Is it going to be like this global brand, or is it just kind of like, no, it's kind of all together just on this one location? If it's going to be together on one location on the winery real estate together, I would probably just buy it all together, or just buy the winery and lease the real estate. I would run a pro forma if I was you. Which one, which model, just buying the real estate, just buying the winery, or buying the winery and leasing the real estate, or buying them together? Which one produces the best net rate of return for investors? Best risk-adjusted rate of return? It might make sense to buy it all together. It might make sense just to buy the winery. Dan Fleischman's house is zoned and for sale in Temecula. Go check it out. I'm interested in Michael's question. Which one's Michael's question? I don't see Michael's on here. Maybe retype it in the chat there. I don't see it. When you are starting out to run a fund, you aren't going to know everything about securities and SEC regulation. When I started out in real estate going down to seller financing years ago, I was familiar creating notes in the SEC law, so I knew to ask for a small note exception for my single note real estate deals. Most investors don't. My question is, when you start out, do you spend lots of time with your attorneys giving you advice on what you can and can't do? Fantastic question from John Love. This is what I found. And this is actually why I think Fund Launch has done, why we have a place in the world. This is John's question. On your first fund, now, generally speaking, yes, make sure to get questions answered. When I go back to the Fund Launch formula, a lot of people go talk to their lawyers first. And what happens is lawyers bill you, I don't know, $800 an hour. And so if you go get all your questions answered by lawyers, a lot of people spend 30, 50. I had one friend spend, I don't know, it was like $500,000 on his first fund. I'm not joking. Because they talk to lawyers train them and teach them and answer questions and get them figured out, and which is how they do it. What we do, kind of the way we teach at Fund Launch, the Fund Launch formula, is go and learn first and set your deal up. And we have courses, materials, classes to teach all of this stuff. And then what you do is you take this over here. Let's call this just Fund Launch. And then you take it to an attorney and you say, hey, I want XYZ with a drink and a side of fries. Can you build this for me? And if you have a question, great, they can answer it. But you save the lawyer so much time because you know what you're doing. So we come over here, we train, we work with you. We have office hours. We have all these course material. We work with it. We vet the deal. We go back and forth so that you walk into your lawyer's office and like, boom, XYZ, and I'm going to ask you these 3 questions, and boom, we got it figured out, and we're off to the races. Okay. It saves people tons of money and time here when they go to, and you don't have to use Fund Launch, but some way to figure out the game first. That's what our whole platform is built on, and then go to the lawyers, and it saves the lawyers a bunch of time. Furthermore, a lot of people set up a deal here with their lawyers, and then by the time they go vet it, their deal falls through, and then they have to do it again and again, and they keep racking up these big lawyer bills. Rather than doing the vetting through the Fund Launch formula and then bring it to the deal when the lawyer when they're ready. It's pretty much more cost-effective way to do it. Does the management code GPLP structure need to be registered with SEC? It depends. Yeah, good question. So you will file. The answer is yes. Yeah, you're going to notify. So you have your GPLP structure. You will file, and we do this in the back end. You'll most likely, again, everyone's a little different, but I'm going to say most likely, because I don't want to give financial or legal advice. Most likely, you're going to file your Form D with the SEC, which we help you do. This notifies that you're raising capital in a private placement, okay? You then also are going to notify states at the state level. You'll file what's called a blue sky filing. That notifies the states that you're raising money in Wyoming or Kansas or Texas. And you pay a little filing fee that you're doing that. Most of your funds will be under 150 million. And so because of that, you file at the state level. Now, depending on your state, many states have a lot of great exemptions, especially for real estate funds. Real estate, venture capital almost always get exempt from that. So you notify the SEC, you're filing a Form D. You notify the states that you're raising money. And then there's a lot of exemptions, like exempt reporting advisor, for example, that you file at the state level, or real estate's exempt, venture capital's exempt. Hedge funds, more scrutinized. Private equity, kind of in the middle. but you notify every state's a little different. You notify them and you file. That's why I say it's more buttoned up. You're actually going through the process. You're doing it with them. I wouldn't be scared of this. This is actually what you want to do. You want to do this in the right buttoned up way. And also it builds you a track record as someone who has filed with the SEC in the past or filed with you go through FINRA, and we help you do all this to make sure it's done correctly. Yep. I wish I had my other slides up. My iPad glitched out. I don't know what happened. Anyways, we'll keep going here. Are you limited? Well, actually, there's a good question up here that I missed. Thanks for the answer. Oh, wait. Thanks for the answer, Bridger. My grandfather was an attorney and his mantra was ignorance of the law is no excuse. So before I created notes for seller financing, which has to be approved by the securities division in almost all states, I spent months learning the law. And then I had my attorney create the note. Your fund launch formula is very wise. Yeah. Make sure things are, that's why for single class, we have a lawyer sign off and check. We actually white glove with you the full process of launching your fund with fund launch. Like we do that on purpose, but we train you up front so that you know, like it's always the unknowns of the unknowns, which scare people. It's like, I don't even know the questions to ask, right? So we're going to help you figure out the questions to ask and make sure you ask this one. And now let me tell you a real story. This is a true story from me. I launched Ugly Unicorn. When I launched Ugly Unicorn, the lawyers I used, okay, so, and this is across the board with lawyers. I had my fund built out. I know funds pretty well. I'm the fund guy. I teach funds. So I'm building my fund. I got my lawyers helping me. We're building docs. We got it all figured out. And I wanted to test them. And these are good lawyers. They've launched a bunch of funds. They're very good lawyers. And I ask them the question. I say, hey, are we everything ready to go? Like, are we ready to go? Are we ready to set up? Like, are we good to go? And they're like, oh yeah, Bridger, you're good to go. Everything's ready to go. Yep, you guys are ready to launch. I'm ready. I can go raise capital. Like, am I ready to go? Yeah, Bridger, go start raising capital. You're good. Like, you're ready to go. And I go, great. Have we filed our Form D yet? Like, oh shoot. Actually, no, we forgot to do that. Let's put that together. Yeah, we'll get that filed. I'm like, did we file our Form ADV yet? Oh yeah, no, that's not filed yet. Well, you know what? Let's get that going. Yeah, let's get that started. I'm like, what if I didn't know to ask the question, have we filed our Form D or Form ADV yet? The lawyers just told me, yeah, you're ready to go, Bridger. You got it. And they're like, oh yeah, oh no, yeah, that was pending. Yeah, our paralegal has it set up. Like, I'm like, what if I didn't know the questions to ask you? Then we launch, hey, have we filed our Blue Sky files yet? Oh yeah, let's get that done. I'm like, dude, I kept telling him, like, and I was like, I just asked you, are we ready to launch? And you told me yes. But we haven't even filed these three things. Well, I didn't know you were talking about that. I thought you were talking about the other docs. Even if you have the best lawyers in the world, you as the fund man, the buck stops with you. You got to learn this stuff. You got to know how it works, the ins and outs. That's why what you're doing, like, it is so crucial to know what you're doing before or after or whenever. But you, like, with attorneys, you have to know because your name is on the documents. You're the one signing. You got to know what you're doing. So make sure this is, when you take real money, it's a real endeavor. Yeah, ignorance is the law in law is not defense. Exactly. You can't say, I didn't know. You're a professional fund manager. You didn't know? Really? You got to know. That's why that's why with the fund launch formula, step 4, the last step is legal. We make you do all the training and knowledge and work and vet your deals up front so that you know before you go to even start talking to legal, you know the questions to ask, the process, how it works. You're going to get like a minor in legal because you have to know it. And then furthermore, when you launch, your investors are going to ask you, hey, Bridger, on page 37 of your legal docs, it says this thing. What does that mean? Oh, yeah, I know what that means. It means X, Y, and Z. You got to know your stuff. And so we're going to train you and we're going to help you and we're going to help you figure this all out. Now, let me share this. If this feels intimidating for you, which it might, that's okay. Anything worth doing might be hard. Furthermore, though, it's not as hard as you think. Let me share a quick analogy that I like to use. So maybe share my screen. I'll draw this out. This is my beautiful picture of a football field, okay? Imagine you came to the United States and you walked into a football stadium. You had no context. And there were teams playing in football. You know, you got your lines here. You got, I don't know, a little center thing here, okay? We got teams playing. We got end zones. And you just sit down and start watching. And there's a fourth down, there's a punt, there's a field goal. They're scoring. Why are they scoring 6 points and then +1? There's a 3-point, then there's a safety where they score 2 points. Like, this game is weird. To be honest, American football is a little weird. If you were brand new, like with no context, like what is going on? There was a pass interference, and then there was offsides, and then there was a roughing the passer, and then there was an intentional grounding call. Like, what are these rules? Okay. You might be pretty confused. And you're like, this sucks. I'm leaving. This is terrible. Okay. If you're in the, I'm like, I got a little stadium here. Here's my stadium. And you're sitting in the stands right here. You're like, I'm leaving. But if you came to the stadium and you sat next to 3 people or 4 people that were really like knew football really, really well and could teach you and walk you through the games and tell you the rules of the game, I bet in 30 minutes, you'd have a decent understanding of football. Furthermore, you might even say, like, looking at the plays, like, oh, they should have passed it. They should have done sweep left. They should have not given the ball to that guy. Like, you actually can even figure out a little bit of strategy within the rules. Now, let me make this make sense for funds. So when you come and look at the fund world, the SEC, compliance, it can look very daunting. There's so many rules, so many regulations, but when you sit down and work with somebody, it's not that complex. Okay. There's rules, there's guidelines, there's things you got to follow up with. Furthermore, within I'll draw it in red here, within the lines, within the rules of the game, like take football, for example, there is a lot of strategy that happens inside of football. You know, within the rules, you can do a fake punt, a pass, you can do a flea flicker play, you can move there's a lot of strategy that can happen within the game. Is this making sense? With the world of funds or SEC, yes, you got to learn the rules, but within the rules, the guidelines, there's a lot of strategy that can happen. Furthermore, if you went and building on, I'm going deep on this analogy here. If you went and talked to an attorney, they would tell you the rules. It's like talking to a referee. They could tell you the rules. There's a difference between talking to a referee and talking to Andy Reid, the head coach of the Chiefs. Yeah, Andy Reid could probably also tell you the rules, but Andy Reid could tell you all the strategy within the rules. Y'all following along a little bit? So at Fund Launch, we teach you the rules, and also we say, hey, work with attorneys. We have attorneys on, with us. Attorneys are great at telling the rules, but also we have expert coaches, consultants, people, myself and our team to help you figure out the strategy within the rules. How you're going to set up your fund, how you're going to incentivize investors, when are you going to pay out performance, when are you going to do reporting, when are you going to do all these cool things to help build a huge firm that crushes it. Is that making sense? This analogy? Give me like a yes or a no if that's kind of making sense. So when you come in, that's the crux of Fund Launch, of Blackheart, of what we're doing here, is to teach the strategy within the game. So number one, once you learn the rules, it's not as complex as it feels. Number two, learn the rules. You can learn from an attorney or us, but also the strategy within the rules is so awesome. There is so much you can do inside of funds. For example, how you're going to pay back investors. You're going to do an 8% pref. You can do a 7% pref. Are you going to do what kind of carried interest, catch up? Those are all variable things. You're going to run an American waterfall, a European waterfall. They're all within the rules of the game, but which one would be best for you and your fund? Does that kind of make sense? It's kind of like, one last analogy I'll give you. It's like taxes. Have you ever known this with taxes? Like, your CPA can file your taxes for you. But also, there's really good tax strategists out there. It's rare to find someone who's good at tax strategy and is also like a CPA accountant. You know what I'm talking about? Anybody else can give me like a amen if you know this. Like the first year I did tax, I just gave money to a CPA. Yeah, file the tax. And I paid this huge tax bill. It was like massive. I was like, what the heck? And then I like the next year I talked to a tax strategist. It's like, oh, no. Like you missed on this and this and this. And you should have done this. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know. And I took it to my CPA and he's like, oh yeah, we can do that. And I'm like, well, why didn't we do it? He's like, well, you didn't ask me to do it. You just asked me to, CPAs are just really good at just filing numbers. I was like, well, shoot. So the next year I had a tax strategist. We did tax planning together. And then we took that and took it to our CPA, and our CPA then filed the taxes for us. Does that make sense? And I was much more efficient with my tax planning the next year, right? And I took some of the incentives and some of the stuff that I had, like for taxes. Okay. Same thing's true with launching a fund. Anybody right now, you guys could all go hire an attorney and just launch a fund. There's no, guarantee that your fund is going to do, number one, well, or be strategized well, or going to raise money. Okay. And do well. All right. Enough on that analogy. Good football analogy. Americans love football analogies. Tell you what. If you guys, someone here in the chat's probably in the UK or something, like, I don't, screw football. It's football, American football, whatever. I don't know. All right, team. How we doing? Hockey analogy. That could have been good too. I don't know. I'm getting into hockey. My family's all from Canada. My cousin, I mentioned yesterday, just got drafted to the Green Bay, which is pretty cool. We got a new hockey team in Utah. They just announced the name, the Utah Mammoths. I went to a game last year. It's pretty fun. Actually, I've been watching the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's been pretty fun. I'm becoming more of a hockey guy. I'm rooting for the most of my family loves the Oilers. Rooting for the Oilers. But the Blues, man, they had a tough go too. And a Utah Mammoths, I'm not a big, should have been Outlaws. I don't know. Or Mammoths is kind of cheesy. I don't know. All right, let's keep going on questions here. Man, where are we? 2.5 hours in. We're still going, baby. All right, final call. I'm going to maybe wait one more question. If you guys have more questions, my team can answer these. Go talk to them. They can help you out. Fundlaunch.com/SAF. Yeah, any questions on fund launch or single asset funds, we can help answer questions there. You can book a call between now and Monday. Let me share. Let's see. Give me 1 second here. Drop any other questions you have. Again, Monday, we're closing this out. If you want to now share my screen. So single asset funds, we've launched our whole platform here. We answer some of these questions of people. You can bring a partner in. We're not going to cap it at 50 because we had a lot of people having problems yesterday with a firm and other stuff. So we're just going to leave it. There's still like a lot of people just joined today and because they got approved overnight, which is totally great. So we're going to increase it over 50. Anybody that joins between now and Monday, we're going to let you in as founding members, which is pretty cool. You don't have to have a deal ready. You can come in, be around people with deals, be around people and we can vet deals with you. The best people are looking at 50 to 100 deals before they do one. So we're going to look at a lot of deals together. And then current Black Card members, we're going to grandfather you in to the platform. The legal, if you want to convert your legal, convert one full out Black Card fund would be 4 single asset funds as well there. This is what the dashboard looks like on the back end. That's pretty freaking cool. We built this whole platform. We have a full internal team still building and working. You can build your whole blueprint on here. So you build your whole firm and it builds your fund with you. Back to that analogy, like we're building the fund with you. Our AI tools we're integrating right now that'll go and build there. We have office hours 4 days a week. You can hop on with coaches. You met some of the coaches today. You can actually work with them and they can help you with your single asset fund. We actually review your stuff on the corner here. You can see there's videos involved that teach you and train you. We have an AI chat bubble. If anything, stops you or bugs you, you can talk to our AI assistant here. Furthermore, we're building AI into single asset funds where it will actually build the marketing materials and funds with you as we go forward. This works for all of these asset classes for the full incubator. And this, I just mentioned our phases. We're going to be building out our full AI platform here to be which this is not like years away. This is months, if not weeks away. I mean, we are actively working on this right now, which is pretty darn cool. The everything platform for funds. We're going to onboard roughly our, in the future, our 100,000 plus members onto this platform. For now, we're starting with 50 founding members to get this thing going, to work. We want to get you guys big results and bring you on live and talk about your deals. Furthermore, we have 4 amazing coaches, all have expertise in different things. We have private equity, real estate, hedge funds, and then another real estate call as well. to help you with your deals and what you're doing, what's working, what's not working inside of that stuff. Furthermore, private community access. We're going to talk on Zoom, on chat. Actually, today we're already chatting on our back-end channels, all talking about deals, introducing ourselves, getting to know the group inside. You get advanced Excel models. These are plug-and-play Excel models you can use for your firm. You get access to Fund Launch 360, which is an amazing full CRM, website builder, platform, email, SMS sequences, marketing automations for your fund. Maybe move my face there so they can see the corner. Fund Launch 360 backend. You get fundraising toolkit, data management, investor reporting, all included inside of this today. So, and furthermore, to make it easy, you get full fund legal setup with an attorney sign off to make sure everything is buttoned up and done the right way. If you can't tell, I really care about compliance, doing things the right way, making sure things are buttoned up. We want to make sure your fund is also done the same way. That's all included with when you join single asset funds between now and Monday night at midnight. This is the few of the things you get involved and all on the platform. There we go. We got Michael and Dwight. Yeah. Okay. Between Monday at midnight. Okay. So single asset funds, you get the Fund Launch platform, consulting. We have 4 group coaching calls a week, professional Excel models, and Fund Launch 360. And as a bonus for founding members, you get a numbered founding member card. We have roughly 1,200 members in Black Card, which is kind of crazy. We're numbering everybody that joins. Right now, we're numbering the first 50. You're going to have a special card. It's kind of a cool little token that you were one of the first people in before we onboard more people. We're doing an in-person event at our headquarters. We have a full court basketball court at our Fund Launch headquarters. Here we are. That's a picture of it right there. June 12th. You guys can fly out. We're also going to do a virtual event to work on single asset funds, answer your questions, and go from there. So these are all the cool things you get. And then finally, we did an onboarding lunch yesterday. We'll do more calls today and then throughout the weekend, then next week as we launch there. You can join on payment plans. Fund Launch single asset funds is $7,500. These are payment plan options. These are real payment plan options that came up. So you can see here, this is Klarna and Affirm. You can join for 0% interest, 0 APR over the next 6 months, which is pretty cool. 0 today and 0 APR. Now this varies based on, credit score and things like that. It's not doing a full credit pull. It's doing a soft pull, which is nice. You can go through Klarna or Affirm if you want to use a payment plan. There's a little zoomed in there. As low as $272 a month on a firm. Additionally, for founding members that join between now and Monday, you get a full extra legal setup. So instead of just doing one fund, we will pay for 2 full fund setups that you are doing for your fund. We want to get you guys crazy results and help you crush it for your deal. So you get a second single asset fund. And then there's our bonuses again. So you can book a call with our team between now and Monday. So there's the link for the last time here, fundlaunch.com/single-SAFs. Go talk to my teams, book a call between now and Monday at midnight. We are closing this thing up. It is final. And then finally, we're doing a $100 merch store credit for you guys can come and buy some awesome merch. Our brand new merch store just launched. This is like Lululemon quality material that we sourced, which is pretty darn awesome. I'm wearing one of them right now. This thing is awesome. This half zip is amazing. And you guys can build, furthermore, you can put your own fund on there. So once you have, maybe put me full screen for a second. If you have, once your fund is live and you have a logo, you actually can white label our store and our logo is gone. You just put your logo on here. This is like, it's all embroidered, very, very nice, high quality. Build you hats, shirts, all that kind of stuff. As a founding member, you get access to that inside of the single asset fund platform. So now, if you're still on the fence, we also have a 30-day money back guarantee. That's how confident we are you're going to love this thing. For whatever reason, if you don't like it, doesn't work out, give us a message. We will send you your money back. Okay. 30-day full money back guarantee. I mean, we are making this it's a win-win. Either you win and you launch and you crush it, or if you come in, you don't like it, we'll give you your money back. Like, that's it. It's a win-win. Okay. The one caveat is if you come in and use the legal services and launch, okay, and you're running your fund, you can't ask for a refund. All right. So no gaming the system and coming in and launching and then I want a refund. Okay. But you can come in, you come all the office hours, come to the coaching, come to the fund builder. If you don't like it, just send me an email. We'll give you your money back. Okay. This is the founding member group. We'll put our money where our mouth is. Okay. So today is not a yes or no. Today is a maybe. All we need is a maybe. If this is something that's interesting to you, if you're like, man, I don't have a deal yet, or I have a deal and I think this would be a curious path to go on. You have a full 30-day money back guarantee. Come step in. It's hard to, we do this because it's hard to buy a car before you test drive it. Like all of you would probably test drive a car before you bought it, right? This gives you a chance to test drive the car. Come in, see if it feels good, if it drives right, if if what Bridger and the team is saying is accurate, we will put our money where our mouth is. Okay, come in. Today is not a yes or no. Today's a maybe. Sound good? So single asset funds is $7,500, which is an amazing deal. We're probably raising that in the near future, but for the founding member, we wanted to go all out and over deliver for our founding members. $7,500. You can start on payment plans as low as $297 a month. You can book a call at fundlaunch.com/single asset funds, SAF. Call my team, talk. They're all trained by me. I met with them this morning. These are all just a few individuals that are all trained by me. I know previously calls, it looks like they've extended more calls, so you guys can take calls over the weekend. But Monday night at midnight is the drop dead deadline for this. So come on in. If you're on Zoom or whatever, you can go right now on Safari, whatever, go to fundlaunch.com/single asset funds. Actually, I'll just pull it up right here. This is what it looks like. So fundlaunch.com/SAF. This is what the page looks like. Oh, there's our countdown timer. Look at that. So join single asset funds. You can either just buy right now on the platform, or you can book a call right here. If you want to learn more, you can come down. You can see, you can put your name, email, phone number here. But if you want to learn more, incubator overview, this goes through all the stuff that we're talking about. You can look at some things down below. You can actually see some testimonials of what's happened previously with people that have worked with Fund Launch. This is Penn Capital. They did a $220 million multifamily deal. These guys are at 3.5 million. You can go through and load. You can just read. If you want to just read testimonials for an hour and a half, you are totally welcome to do that. Okay. You look at what Steve did here. You can just see these are screenshots in the platform. Some are more official. We have actually videos on here. You can just keep reading and reading and reading if you'd like. Furthermore, we have frequently asked questions down below. And if all of that doesn't work, send us an email, bridger@fundlaunch.com. Send me an email, my team, we can help you. You can go here, you can book a call with our team members. Let me go back to the top here. Book a call with an advisor. You can open it up between now and Monday at midnight. So if I want to book a call tomorrow, it looks like we got some time slots available. Come right here, hit next. You put your name, email, you answer the question, and we will talk to you tomorrow. If you book a call, make sure to show up, by the way. Make sure to come on. Our team members have blocked off times to work with you guys and help you all. So come on here. If this is something that's interesting to you, there you go. All right. Any other questions on single asset funds? We'll go back to Zoom. Maybe put me there. I booked. It doesn't work on Firefox, but does work on Safari. Book a call button doesn't work. Worked for me just barely. Let me share my screen one more time. For me though, when I hit book a call, it loaded like this little thing. It might take a second to load. Loads for me though right here. But for whatever reason, if it's not working, no worries, no headache. Just send me a message at bridger@fundlaunch.com, and we'll just call you right away. So we can just hop on a phone number, or we can text you, whatever. Just send us a message at bridger@fundlaunch.com. Also, yeah, Deborah, welcome to the people that joined. Our founding member, we did our first onboarding call yesterday. It was a hoot. Good to meet a bunch of people. Deborah's going to meet you. Deborah was, I think, number 12, if I remember correctly. We numbered everyone that came in. Chelsea was number 1. Deborah was number 12. We numbered everybody that came in. And we've had a bunch more people join today. And I'm sure tomorrow and the next day, people will keep joining. We're excited to work with this founding member group. I'm involved. I'm in the WhatsApp. I was messaging this morning. We were talking about the new trade deal that Trump just announced with the United Kingdom. It should be awesome. And yeah, pretty cool. So welcome in founding members. Congrats to you on taking the step forward, moving forward, into the world of fund management, single asset funds. At minimum, I'll say this. You might join and just listen for a month or two. That's totally fine. If you're someone like, I don't know where I'm at. Like we've had people join Black Card. They join and they just kind of listen. They watch the calls. They look what other people do and they talk to people. What are you doing? What's working for you? How's that, helpful? They go on and on. And because they're in the room, because they're around the people that are doing deals, it gets them like, oh, maybe I should look at a deal. Maybe I'll partner with them. We've actually had I will probably assume, but in Black Card, we've had a lot of people partner up together. They're like, hey, I'm good at raising capital. Oh, I'm good at finding deals. Let's partner together. Or I'm good at running funds. And they pull people together and actually partner inside of the group. I'm assuming the same thing will happen in single asset funds. I want you guys to meet one another, talk, share. There might be a chance where you find good people. It's, when you're in the vicinity of other people that are like-minded, rowing in the same direction, it's crazy what can happen when you're around. That's why I join masterminds. Like I do this all the time. I just joined a group. It was $150,000 last year. It's a new group right now. I just went to their first event. It was $250,000 to join that group. I joined other groups that were 30,000, one that was 24,000. I joined one that was 10,000. Why? Because I want to get expert knowledge. I want to learn from people, and I want to be with a group of people that are rowing in the same direction I am. Maybe my family, my friends, my people around me locally aren't rowing in that direction. I want to find people who are rowing in that direction. So if I have to pay to be with them, awesome. I will pay to be with people that are doing big things, that are building businesses, that are taking down huge deals. I want to hang out and be with those types of people. So it's okay if you come in and you're like, I'm not ready today. That's fine. Hey, I would love to help on someone else's deal. I want to be a junior partner on your deal. Just teach me the ropes. Cool. Let's do it. Okay. We want to build a community, a culture of people that help one another, that do deals together, which is so awesome. So welcome in you guys that joined. I'm excited to kick things off with y'all. We're gonna do amazing and go crush it. So welcome in everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Could you do a SAF to raise money for a startup? You could. Generally speaking, a safe is the more common way to do it for a startup. Like, I would probably push you to a safe just because more people do it, but you could do a fund. If you're going to go buy a business or an existing deal or whatever, I would do a GPLP single asset fund. If you're like raising for your own startup, I'd probably do a safe agreement. Yeah. All right, y'all. Okay, final call. We'll throw this link up one more time, funlaunch.com. We actually, Adam just put in a direct calendar link as well. Oh, thanks for doing that, Adam. So drop it one more time. If for whatever reason the booking link doesn't work, just click on that direct calendar link. Funlaunch. Or it's calendly.com. It can take you right to a booking link. Furthermore, if none of that works, just send me a message, bridger@funlaunch.com, and we'll work with you. People on Zoom as well, or on YouTube, if you share my screen one more time, funlaunch.com/SAF is the link here. I'll maybe move my thing so they can see our URL. Funlaunch.com/single asset funds, SAF. You can book a call here. Right here. And if none of that's working for you for whatever reason, you're in, whatever, send me a message, bridger@fundlaunch.com. Okay. Bridger@fundlaunch.com is my email. Send that to me and my team. We'll get back to you right away. We're live right now. We'll respond to you in the next few minutes, and we can hop on a call, talk to you, whatever. We're not trying to hard close any. This is just an opportunity. We want to answer questions. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, great as well. Okay. We'll catch you on the next webinar, okay? Sometimes things just don't work out for people, but if you're someone who wants to do this, if you're someone who wants to move forward and actually build out a single asset fund, I don't think there's a better platform on planet Earth to do that than right here. And we're not a brand new business. We've done this now going on, 6 years? I mean, we're not brand new. We have a team of 60 people that work at Fund Launch. This is not some startup basement thing. Like, we have done this over and over. We've helped hundreds of funds launch. This is not our first rodeo, okay? We have over 100,000 people that have taken one of our programs online, okay? We're not new to this game. So this is the first time we've launched single asset funds as a standalone product, which I'm so excited about. Excited to have you guys in and work with y'all and get you guys huge results. So with that, my name is Bridger Pennington. I'm signing off today. Great 3-day challenge. Hopefully you learned something. You guys stayed to the bitter end here. Who do we got on here still? Let's do a final roll call. If you were there all 3 days and you're standing right now, type like that's me in the chat. I'm him or I'm her in the chat. Do that. If you came all 3 days, stay to the bitter end here. Yeah, where's my people at? Boom. All 3. There they are. What's going on? You guys rock. This is amazing. I know. I love our Fund Launch community. Y'all are amazing. That's me. I love it. All day. You guys are here putting in the work, putting in the time. I love it. Keep going. I'm excited to work with people that joined our group as well. We'll keep it going and help you all crush it. Thank you guys. Sign off today. We'll leave the Zoom chat live for a few minutes. If you're trying to book a call or whatever, we'll keep dropping the call link. We'll keep that live for a minute. But with that, thank you all so much. I got to go to the bathroom really bad, so I'm going to end it right now. I've been on for too long here. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.